Salutations, adventurers! Welcome to Roll for Felicity, where we play serialized one-shots in a multitude of systems with assorted players. I'm Taylor, my pronouns are she, her, and I'm going to be running the game tonight, and am usually the person running games on this stream if you're new here. For every stream that I do that's a tabletop stream, oh, I should also say I'm here with guests. I'm here with Rat Boy, Anne, Dreamy, and Mia. They'll be introducing themselves in just a second with, I always have a little icebreaker question, and since we're playing a game called Cantrip, which is we're going to be at a witch academy during the one-shot. Our question today is, if you had a signature spell, what would it be? And I'll go first. If I had a signature spell, unfortunately, it would probably be a spell that allows you to get all of the, like, smoke from burning something out of your apartment, because I cook a lot and I am a good cook, but I also forget things. So there have been times where I'm like, oh yeah, I'm gonna leave this grilled cheese here in the broiler and I'm gonna, like, run over here and, like, check my email, and then 10 minutes later my husband is like, there's something burning. So that would be unfortunately, that would be my signature spell. I'm going to throw it over to my guests to introduce themselves and talk about what their signature spell would be. And we're going to go first with Rat Boy. Do you want to introduce yourself to everybody?
Hi, I'm Rat Boy. That's all I have to say. I guess for my spell, I once went to there was some event in a city that I was visiting where they were getting a new city hall. And so they were allowing people to go through their old city hall, this like 10-story building with 2 basements or whatever. And you could go anywhere in the building. And the presumption was that you would buy something that they had still there. And I felt like a ghost, and it was maybe one of the coolest things I've ever done. So I think I would like to be maybe invisible, but for that reason. Ooh. Because I want to go places and feel like a ghost without really being one.
That's a very cool ability. Anne, do you want to introduce yourself to everybody and let them know what your signature spell would be?
Do you want me to introduce my character too? I kind of forgot if we were doing
we'll
that.
We'll do character introductions once we get to, like, the one-shot proper. I'll have space for that, but just yourself for now.
Hi, my name is Anne. I'm a TTRPG performer. You can find me on Twitter yelling about my friends being super cool. XO_girl_wonder. I think my signature spell would be, like, if I'm having a conversation with someone, I'd like to be able to summon their favorite snack.
Oh, that's
nice. Specifically because I like making friends, and, you know, if I had their favorite snack, they'd just be like, oh wow, that's so thoughtful, and, you know, like, that's a good way to start a friendship, with, you know, magically knowing what their favorite snack is.
True.
Because I think that snacks bring people together, and, you know, if we all, you know, remembered to eat more and had snacks and shared food with people, the world would be a better place.
Yeah, hard to say no to getting your favorite snack, so I think that's a good spell.
Also, as a kid, I used to, like, just bribe people with snacks so that they'd be my friends, so I feel like this is on brand.
Dreamy, do you want to introduce yourself to everybody?
Okay, hi everybody, I'm Dreamy, and for my one spell, I would like to be able to telepathically pelt rocks at anyone I want to during any situation, like, and you could not tell that it was from me. So, like, if we were in traffic or something like that, and a car was being, like, really rude, I would, like, just have rocks thrown at their car. Or if someone was, like, being gross in person, I would just have rocks fly at them randomly, and they can't tell who it's coming from, because then, you know, that would compromise my identity, I guess. So yeah. It would be like it'd be like, where is this coming from? Is it coming from the sky? That sort of thing.
Yeah. That's a good one. We've got the carrot and the stick. We've got the treats, and then we've got the rocks if anyone misbehaves.
And I would like to stipulate that it's rocks of any sizes.
I was gonna ask.
Yeah, so if I was like trying to be nice, first of all, I'm not gonna be nice if I'm pelting rocks at someone.
Yeah.
But
true.
if I was trying to be nicer,
Mhm.
I would be like smaller rocks. But if I was like really mad, it'd be like a giant like fist-sized rock.
Yeah.
A warning rock versus a rock that means business.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so we can tell how mad you are by the size of the rock.
yeah, exactly. That's that is
Also,
exactly it.
would you just have it so if you were mad at someone, would you set it up so that the rock came from them and then made someone else mad?
Oh.
You see, I would actually like to be able to do that too, to frame someone.
Yeah.
I would like
Yeah.
to be able to frame someone else as well.
That's good. This is a very useful. Everyone's picking very useful spells.
Mhm.
Which then just leads us to Mia. Do you want to introduce yourself and let people know your signature spell?
Sure. Hi, everyone. My name is Mia, pronouns they, them, theirs. You can find me on Twitter at uptight_chiffon, usually just rambling about things, currently about Yu-Gi-Oh cards. And my signature spell, I was inspired by Rat Boy, would be to be able to unlock any door. Because I am somebody who, if I am going on a tour, anytime I'm at like a theme park, if I see a door and I want to interact with it, there's a couple of times that people have been like, hey, like you can't be back here. But sometimes the doors are locked and I can't see what's behind it. And 9 times out of 10, it's always something good. So I would love to be able to unlock any door. Can guarantee I would not intentionally use it in a bad way, but I'm very nosy, so I would probably end up like walking backstage during a performance and somebody would be like, who is this random child wandering around?
Very good.
But yeah.
I have a question. Would you also have the ability to then lock the door if it's something you didn't want? Just be like, nope, lock the door.
No, I would probably let the chaos ensue. I probably wouldn't remember to lock the door behind me, so
Yeah.
it would just, it's not a spell that I would get much use out of, unfortunately, if I was able to lock it too.
Very good. So those are our guests for tonight. I'm gonna explain a little bit about the game that we're playing, but first, for people in chat, first of all, hello, to everybody who's here. I do keep an eye on chat during the stream, but because we're like playing a tabletop game, I don't always get to, acknowledge people. Sometimes I'll type stuff in chat. But there are some things that you can do to help out the stream if you are in chat right now. The first one is completely free, which is if there's a moment that you would like to see on Twitter or on TikTok or something like that, like a thing that you think is clippable but you don't want to make a clip, you can just put !marker, the word marker, like a Crayola, in chat, and that'll make a stream marker for me to go back and make a clip of that moment, which is super, super helpful to me so I can see like what parts people think were like funny or good. So that's great. You can also, as you watch the stream, you will be accumulating channel points, and you can use those channel points for a variety of things, including some sound effects that the players will also be able to hear, or different things like that. There's a little sparkling water can at the bottom of the chat window. If you click on that, you can see all the options that you can use your channel points for, which are fun. Another thing that you can do is, I do have some tip incentives. All the tips will go to the players tonight. Perfect. That's one of the sounds. Thank you. Thank you, Melanie, for the example. So I do have some tip incentives. Let me do this. And actually, Melanie, can you do the tip rewards command in chat so people can see what I'm talking about? If you tip 200 bits or $2, you can pick one player and give them a token, which is the main mechanic that people can make what they're called strong moves in this game. For 500 bits or $5, you can give everyone, all the players, a token. And then the last thing that you can do to help the stream, congratulations, if you're watching this, you're already doing it. Thank you so much for watching this live with us, or if you're watching it on YouTube, thanks for checking out the VOD, I really appreciate it. And thanks for being here. Now I'm gonna explain the game that we're playing. So the game that we're playing is called Cantrip. It's by Misha Panarin. It's a game that you play as witches at a magical school. It's a belonging outside belonging game, which if you're familiar with games like Wanderhome or Sleepaway, it's the same system as those, which is a very narrative, very collective world building And kind of just, we have some moves where people can do, like, narrate a little slice of life. We can do some moves that complicate lives for the witches. That's kind of the vibe that we're going with. Also, I do have a request for chat. So all of us as players will not be mentioning this, and this is the only time I'm going to mention it during the stream. Even though this is a magical school and there is another prominent magical school in media, we choose not to acknowledge it. So this is the last time I'll be saying Harry Potter in chat, or in the stream. Please don't mention it in chat. If you do even references, one of the mods will delete them. Thank you in advance.
I would like to say that if you want to reference some sort of media,
yes,
let's talk about kind of the inspiration for this.
Yeah.
It's like pitch perfect in a magical college.
Exactly.
Plus yodeling. So that's kind of the vibe. If you're looking for something for reference, that's the vibe.
Yeah. Reference pitch perfect as much as you want. Or any other kind of witchy media. Just not the one that is transphobic, please. With that, we are going to be starting the game, and I have a little thing to read to start us off, to set the tone, and tell you a little bit about the world that we're going to be playing in. The town of Bellowitch is bustling with energy on this crisp January day as a new semester has begun. The shops and restaurants are full of students and their families greeting roommates, exchanging hellos and goodbyes, picking up dormitory supplies, and embarrassing each other. An observer would assume that all the students go to the campus near the center of town, made up of square, sensible-looking brick buildings, at a bit of a contrast with the little Switzerland architecture of the rest of the town of Bellowitch. An observer would be half correct, because the Data Research Academy of Bellowitch, aka DRAB, is technically the only university in Bellowitch. Much to the chagrin of its much smaller satellite school, the Witches' Institute of Magic, Spellcasting and Yodeling, aka WIMSY. Accessible only by broomstick or the portal in parking lot D, WIMSY floats high above DRAB, and their second semester in what they refer to as the month of the Broom is also beginning. I'm going to turn it over to each of you to narrate a slice of life. Describe your witch and what they're doing right now at the beginning of the new semester. You can go in any order.
I'll go if you guys don't mind. So Sophia Loving is a very stylishly dressed witch in like a designer tailored suit, but she has, the look that Britney Spears has in Baby One More Time, the the midriff showing and the tied up blouse, that kind of thing, underneath of a really expensive looking suit. And she doesn't have to live on campus at the dorms, but she does because she can. Why not? She decided she wanted the full whimsy experience. However, she is able to, leave on her self-flying Tesla spell whenever she wants, because who's gonna stop her? She, her ancestors created whimsy, founded whimsy up in the sky. So she's essentially like a free spirit who roams around. And for the first day of the new semester, she is essentially in her self-flying Tesla, and she's got her wand, and she's and her auburn hair fixes itself, and she's getting ready to go back on campus, and that is where she's headed. And she's kind of looking out the window at the people on brooms and just speeding past,
yeah,
how many of you can do this?
Yeah, you don't have to use the portal in parking lot D, and you don't have to get your hair messed up by flying in a broom. You've got your family's signature spell of this super nice flying car that you can summon. Very cool. What else is everybody else doing as you're settling in for your first day of the new semester?
I'll go next. So Thea, who is new to the witch life, she's been here a semester. She has only ever grown up with non-witches. And so everything that she has brought with her to the university is what she thinks witches would like or what they would wear. So she is currently walking up to her dorm room, getting ready to unpack all of the witch costumes that she bought online, because she thinks that that'll help her fit in more and maybe make more friends, because it's like, well, what do witches wear? Duh, right? So she has like a collection of pointy hats that she's just organizing in her room, as she's like ready to and she's gonna like get all dressed up and dolled up in her witch outfit to go and meet some other witches for the new semester.
Yeah. What about our other two witches? What are you two up to?
Charlie is feeling pretty overwhelmed by everybody moving about. They are not necessarily like all part of the hustle and bustle. They like to have some school spirit, but first day back on the semester is really, really hard on them. So they've actually wandered a little bit away. They kind of dumped all of their things, their cauldron and some of their flowers and plants that they used to make potions, and grabbed their little mouse companion and just immediately went into the woods. And so as a very overstimulated individual, Charlie is currently just starfish out on the ground on top of some moss, just feeling the earth, kind of breathing really deeply. Their denim overalls are already pretty dirty since they kind of walked in here without a care. Their feet, they did clean their feet before they laid down, even though they're in the woods, and nobody can see any shoes around them, but they're kind of just listening to the forest sounds, and distantly they know that their classmates are flying around and welcoming each other back and getting excited. For the moment, Charlie is just kind of breathing deep and taking the second to themselves.
Yeah, I like that a lot. That just leaves one other witch. Rat Boy, do you want to tell us about what your witch is up to?
Sure. So Bellamy Bedlam has two dads, and one of them is kind of a deadbeat. But the outside observer would maybe call them that. But Bellamy certainly never would. Bellamy really looks up to this particular father. And so they don't really have a lot to prepare in their dorm. Papa was a Rolling Stone, and so Bellamy doesn't really like to collect a lot of things because they aspire to one day also be a Rolling Stone. But what you will catch them doing is huffing and puffing through the quad, dragging a huge bag of library books that probably weighs as much as they do. So they're really struggling with it. They're in their pretentious little like school outfit. They look like a little lad, dragging their body weight in library books because one of the penalties for having overdue library books at this school is that the overdue library book does spontaneously combust, and Bellamy would love to use that to their advantage, and to the extreme disadvantage to anyone who happens to cross their path and look askance.
Absolutely.
So they're prepping for their semester in their own way.
Great. Also, I'll mention on screen cycling through, you should chat should be able to see little icons that are, kind of, it's a pit crew of what the witches look like, which is, did I do this right? Did I do the right command? Oh, I didn't do the right command. Hang on. Don't pay attention to me. Which is by Unomoto 5 is the pit crew, and the link to that is in chat if you want to make your own little witch who might attend WIMSY. Also, WIMSY is college age, which is kind of has been implied, but not high school, boarding school, but college age witches. So we've gotten our little slice of life from each of you kind of describing your characters. And the way that the game works is that we'll each take turns choosing from different types of scenes, to, progress the story forward. I decided I can go ahead and take the first shift since I'm, facilitating. So I will choose the first scene, which I think it would be fun for our first scene to be get a read on the academy. So this is kind of a stage setting kind of scene that we can do. And I'm going to make a statement, and then each player will get to decide what a different part of the academy thinks about this thing. So next month is the International Yodeling Competition, which WIMSY, despite being very competitive about, has lost for the past 10 years. What are the different groups at WIMSY doing to prepare? What do they think about this? What's kind of the vibe around campus? And you don't have to pick from one of the aspects you control or are currently controlling, but if you want to, you definitely can.
I feel like the school is probably really hyped up just because despite losing for 10 years, every single year everyone's like, this is gonna be our year to win, just to be sadly let down once they lose.
Yeah, so student body pretty hyped up.
I would say on that note, part of the student body, I don't know if we should go into what makes up the student body.
Yeah, you can.
Should we? Okay.
Yeah.
So some notable members of the student body are one, the star jock of the school, and then another who is the student council treasurer / secretary that really kind of runs the show when the jock and the one other person that I won't get into now, when they're off making plans. So I think that the star jock would be part of that excitement about the upcoming competition and would be making all kinds of elaborate plans about some event that will occur when they inevitably win, because I'm sure this jock is so certain that they will win. And the extremely put upon treasurer and secretary is trying to make it happen, knowing that they don't even have the resources for something like that, but the jock is pretty insistent.
Yeah. I'll also mention we've got some names for the jock and the secretary. The jock's name is Ward Willow. And then the treasurer / secretary of the student council is named Fawn LaCroix. So just to set the scene a little bit. What about Mia and Anne? Do you have ideas of what some people or groups at campus would be thinking about this?
Well, obviously the Whimsy Gargoyles yodeling team are absolutely working on their big numbers for the competition. I think that the captain is very stressed out about it. But I think Sophia sees it as an opportunity to, step up to the plate and be like, oh yeah, we can do this, and support and make herself look good.
So there's
in
some
terms
political maneuvering going on with the with the yodeling team.
Yeah, there's it's very important to Sophia that they win. It's also very important to Sophia that she looks good. So, the legacy of her mother being, star performer 10 years ago, the last time Whimsy actually won. So, this is kind of a big deal to her. So, she's trying to make it work for her.
Yeah. I like that a lot. Mia, do you have an idea of what something else, some other feelings about this on campus?
I do. So the campus is obviously alive with all of this energy. Everyone's excited. But the magic itself is also excited, but for different reasons. So in the world of Whimsy, it's called the Weave, and it is the magic that just sort of surrounds everybody and surrounds the campus. And it kind of has a mind of its own, and it tends to be pretty playful and like some pranks. And it wants the students to have a good time, but also maybe have a couple of challenges their way. So people will be practicing their yodeling, and the magic will sort of encapsulate them in a sort of bubble of silence. And so everybody's just standing and watching someone yodel just with so much passion and no noises coming out. Or somebody will be walking and they're running late to yodeling practice, or they're running late to class, and the magic kind of just tilts the hallway a little bit. And their heads down, they're in the zone, just like, I have to get there before this exam, before the teacher notices. And magic just kind of tilts the hallway, and they'll end up stumbling into a wall, or perhaps just walking in a giant circle because the magic just keeps leading them that way. So the students are kind of, everyone's happy to be back, everybody's excited, but they also are like, oh, we have to contend with the weave again because it just wants to have fun, and some of us are really here to get some serious work done. So yeah, I would say the yodeling team in particular is having a hard time as they're practicing because the magic knows that this is very serious, and they're like, yeah, okay, but we can still have fun.
Yeah, I love that.
I imagine that Sophia has been a victim of the weave's playfulness, just, and then she'll just like give up and be like, okay, yeah, let it happen.
Yeah, that's good. Maybe occasionally the weave interferes with, because the weave is magic itself, so the self-flying car self-flying Tesla may be going to the wrong place.
As it's like coasting in the air, Sophia eventually notices that it's just like slowly grounding and comes to a stop. Never enough to cause damage, but just like, okay, we're done with this ride.
Yeah.
Or like zoom past a tree or something.
Yeah. Or just the radio comes on and it's like, oh, maybe it's the radio. I'm not technically controlling the weave right now, but maybe the radio comes on and it's the DRAB yodeling team. Like they're yodeling.
Yeah, and then the car like won't let me like turn down the volume or turn off the radio. It's just they just get really
And may
mad.
I just say, why would you want to? Their voices angelic.
You can't deny it. They're good.
Whose side are you guys on? You're my roommates. I thought we were friends.
Yeah, so I think that's a good overview of a little bit of what's going on at WIMSY. So, does anyone have, I think probably it would be good for the next scene to be a, what is it called? Let me see. Frame a major scene. It would probably be good to do a major scene next, because we've gotten a slice of life, we've gotten a read on the academy. Do any of you have an idea of a major scene that you'd like to see?
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
What would you say is the difference between just slice of life versus like a major scene?
That's a good question. Narrating a slice of life is more of like if this was a movie, it would be like a shot of someone doing something, or like a little montage or something like that. It's a way to like decompress after a particularly like intense thing that's happened, or add some like texture to the school, and indicate that time has been passing, that kind of thing. A major scene is kind of what drives the narrative. So a lot of times, actually from the book it says, when you frame a major scene, you should pose a tightly focused question to the group that establishes the stakes and main conflict. So one of the examples it gives is, can we find the ingredients for this potion before time runs out? What is that weird noise coming from the bell tower? Framing scenes in this way allows you to begin in media res and cut right to the action. It also suggests like starting, like if your character is in the scene, starting the scene with your character doing a move. So either like weak move, regular move, or strong move. Does that answer your question?
Yeah. Now I'm just trying to come up with a good idea. So
you could also look at the aspect that you're currently controlling, and like see what the things that aspect can always do. So the moves for your aspect, you don't need to spend tokens on. They're just all regular moves. So if there's something where it's like, you know, or even like if you want to involve an aspect that someone else is playing, you know, you could do that as well. So you could have a scene where you're like, oh, our 4 witches are trying to, you know, sneak somewhere and the adult witches catch them, or like something like that. But pretty open-ended.
Okay, so I think that, you know, because Sophia likes to win, she has presented her friends and roommates with this idea. And she said, hey, let's sneak out and steal, I don't know, like, steal the, prize-winning songbook from DRAB.
Oh.
Their yodel secrets.
Or could we steal last year's trophy? I'm sure that they have it on display.
I mean,
Thea's totally down for it. She's
all the things we can carry from DRAB.
Yeah, she's willing to go along with anything if she thinks that it'll make her have some witchy friends, you know.
Okay.
So to one up Sophia's plan, she's like, why just steal the songbook? Let's steal the freaking trophy.
Oh boy.
Bellamy is also, for the record, immediately engaged in this idea. Bellamy already has like a number of bags picked out and like has the door open.
Okay. Yeah, so
Yeah, do we want to just cut to, I think it would be good if it's you all trying to sneak out of not necessarily your dorm because this is college, but maybe like,
well, we're more trying to break in than sneak out.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, breaking into DRAB. So yeah, let's start the scene with you all on the campus of DRAB. And I think the first challenge will definitely be figuring out where the yodeling where the yodeling club stuff even is on this campus.
I just want to point out that for this mission, I did take off my witch clothes and put on my normie, quote unquote, normie clothes. So I sadly had to leave my witch hat and cape behind.
Yeah.
And I'm just dressed in like a t-shirt and jeans.
Like, I feel like Sophia has taken her wand to her hair and changed it to a more like, I don't know, less put together hairstyle, and it's just like wavy, like windswept look, and she's just like, get in the car, we're going to DRAB. You know, like.
I just want to say that Bellamy sees these two, and not because they care, but more because they're trying to get their goats, looks at Sophia and Thea and just goes, oh, that's what you're wearing?
These are my normie clothes. I wouldn't wear this normally at our university at WIMSY.
Uh-huh.
I have to blend in.
Uh-huh.
You don't know because you've never lived the normie life.
Uh-huh.
And I mute Bellamy. I mute Bellamy. Use my spell to mute Bellamy.
Yeah. What does it look like? What does the mute spell look like? Like how does Thea cast it? Like what is it like?
I put one of my hands in the air and I wiggle my fingers right in front of Bellamy's mouth, and my hand goes like close to the mouth and then far away from their mouth and then close to the mouth and then far away from their mouth. So it's very obvious what I'm doing, but I haven't mastered like subtly muting someone yet. So I have to do it like, that's the only way I can do it right now.
Yeah.
this just happens to Bellamy because they're so perplexed by these actions that they are not at all on the defensive. They're just, and then, of course, victim too.
Yeah. This is also a spell. So, Thea is the Starstruck playbook, and Starstruck starts with a spell that is like kind of what brings them into like the witching world. But the mute spell, I believe, is one that Thea learned during the last semester at school.
I did, yeah. I figured it would be very useful just because last semester Thea had some bouts of bullying due to what she chose to wear. And instead of listening to all these other witches being like, that's not really what witches wear, she's like, shut up, and mutes them, you know.
Yeah, very good.
Yeah.
Anne, I have a proposition for you. Since you're all kind of getting into like the town and DRAB, would you mind if I swap aspects with you and I play the town and you can take over the adult witches?
Sure.
Cool. I'll just swap those out.
I will say, as this is happening, the weed does know that the group does not need to sneak out, but it's pretty interesting to them that they don't come across a single teacher, professor, instructor while they are on their way. But their footsteps seem a little bit louder than usual. Like every time they move, it's just making a little bit of extra noise. So there's certainly not any teachers around, but the group does kind of get the sense that maybe the weave is like trying here to mess with things. So Charlie is like every time they take a step, he just kind of like picks up and looks at the bottom of his feet, like, what is it? Why is it making that sound? Sometimes it's like little chirps that happen, or sometimes it's like just the sound of like a boot on concrete. It's a bit random. So the weave is definitely going along for the ride for this little adventure.
Love it.
Oh, see, I thought Charlie was just wearing like shoes with squeakers in them.
Charlie now thinks this.
Charlie
Little light up shoes.
Yeah.
They've got little Hot Wheels on the side.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Charlie.
Definitely light up shoes.
I would say it's probably pretty likely that if Charlie were to wear shoes, that's probably the only shoes that she has. So seeing everybody else like get ready, Charlie's like, okay, what do I have that could like help me to blend in? And does indeed put on one single light up Hot Wheels shoe, but not the other. Charlie's just not really confident about this whole shoe thing. But he does turn to Sophia and like, very timidly comes up and is just, Sophia, I don't know if this is helpful or appropriate, but do you think you could do something about these? And just sort of gestures to the antlers that are sticking out of their head. And Charlie knows that these are not going to help her blend in. But she also doesn't really know what to do with them. And so just kind of very quietly is like, could you help me with my hair and maybe do something to hide these a little more?
So Sophia tries to like take her magic to like cover up the antlers with Charlie's hair, and like it's like they look almost like cone shaped buns.
Yes.
but there's still a bit of antler sticking out. and then Sophia's just like, this is so frustrating. And I would actually I would like to just do a regular move to cast the spell.
Yeah.
And then she looks really kind of like sad, like she failed at what Charlie wanted her to do. And I'm like,
Charlie I absolutely love this, Sophia. Thank you so much. This is exactly what I wanted.
It covers 90% of the antlers. There's just a little bit still sticking out. And then she's like, I did my best. You look good,
Charlie.
though. You clean up good.
Thank you. Charlie like walks over and stands by the door and is wearing their dirty overalls and a crop top and like a just shoulder cape, because they might get a little bit cold. And it's nice and black, and it's got a fancy hood, but it doesn't really go with anything else. And one light up Hot Wheels shoe on your left foot, and it's ready to go.
So she's just wearing. They're just wearing one shoe. The other.
Just one. They have the other one just in case, but they're just not comfortable in shoes, so they want to keep at least one foot there.
Bellamy smiles and gives Charlie 2 thumbs way up.
Charlie looks at Thea and just is like, see, you can wear whatever you want to wear. Nobody cares here. And like very confidently holding their shoe and pointing at it.
I don't know about that. I mean, if that was actually the case, I would wear my normie clothes here all the time. But why I spent so much money buying these witch clothes to blend in. I also just want to say last semester, taking Charlie's lead, Thea also did not wear shoes because she thought that witches did not wear shoes, just to experience a lot of pain and discomfort, and then be really embarrassed the first day of class when she walked into a classroom and literally everyone was wearing shoes.
Yeah.
So I don't know if there's a move required for this, but I feel like because of the connection between WIMSY and DRAB, I feel like because of Sophia's parents, her family, she'd have access to some information about DRAB, you know, like a map or something. I feel like that even if it wasn't for her connections, it's some kind of accessible information. So she she probably would just look it up. Like she'd try to at least narrow it down. Like where is their like arts wing or whatever, their music team?
Yeah. So you're down on the grounds of DRAB, which just like sucks compared to WIMSY. I mean, like WIMSY, the campus is so cool. You never know what's gonna happen next. DRAB is like, you know, it's not even as cool as the rest of Bellowitch. Like it just has these buildings that you're like, okay, whatever. But you are able to navigate it a lot more easily than you navigate WIMSY because it's not changing as you go. And you're able to find the building, which is of course locked. It's nighttime right now. I'm assuming, actually. No one said it's nighttime. I was assuming that it was nighttime.
No, I think Sophia would have presented this as a nighttime excursion. Because we have to go to class during the day.
Right, yeah, exactly.
Or, I mean, we should go to class during the day.
Yeah. But yeah, the doors and windows and stuff are locked right now.
Has anybody done?
Can I pick up a rock?
Yeah, that's free. Yeah.
To throw into a window or like to the door to unlock it potentially.
I mean, I don't know. If you're throwing a rock, I don't know if it would unlock the door, but you would get in. you would maybe be breaking the door.
Or could I at least take the rock and smash the handle? So then we could get in? Yeah. That would probably be slightly more subtle than breaking the window next to it. So instead of asking for any magical solutions, which is one of my weak moves, I'm rejecting any magical solutions.
Oh yeah.
I pick up the nearest large rock and I start smashing the handle to the building to get in.
Go ahead and take a token, because you did do a weak move. You smashed the handle of this thing, which breaks off. That is, like, pretty much the easiest way. I'm gonna say, as controlling the town, that after Thea does this and kind of tosses the rock to the side, one of you would notice that it is one of those rocks that is like has the keyhole. Like it has like a key in it. But you don't need that anymore.
Is that the secret, like the secret key? Like you know how?
Yeah, like the hide key or whatever.
Can Bellamy pocket that for later use?
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so Bellamy pockets that for later use.
Perfect.
Charlie, who likes to collect little knickknacks things, just returns Bellamy's thumbs up gesture.
I do have a quick question. How long is Bellamy muted for? Until I unmute them, or?
I'm assuming it's shorter than that. I'm assuming it's like more of a since you're a newer witch and you don't have like that big of control on magic. I'm assuming it's like, you know, a couple minutes maybe.
Okay, I can just continuously mute someone though if I want to, right?
I can, yeah.
Okay,
Well,
cool.
can we, if it's okay, can we make it last like the duration of a scene?
Oh yeah, that's fine with me. I whatever people are fine with. I don't want it to be like Rat Boy, just
I just
constantly
never speak again.
just bullied by Dreamy.
I would unmute Bellamy at some point.
Okay.
Let me just say.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna be the duration of a scene is fun though.
Yeah.
Unless of course, Thea unmutes, but yeah, you have a way into this building.
And are we like in like a hallway, or is this like a single room whenever we break into this
it's
very easily
probably-
accessible building?
It's probably a hallway, I'm imagining. Like, I think
Okay.
probably the Yodeling Club is like a classroom in like the arts building or whatever. That's usually how like college clubs are. So yeah, you're in like this little entryway kind of. Like I feel like it's like, at least at my college, a lot of the buildings, like the entrance, there would be like a little, like, not receptionist, but there would be a little area with like couches and stuff like that, and then like the little signs that are like, this room is this way, this room is this way. I think that's where you are right now.
Okay.
Charlie's going to the nearest door and trying to open it.
Yeah. I'll ask you, what do you think the room is? And do you think it's unlocked?
I do think that it's unlocked because at my college we always got in trouble for not locking the
Yeah.
And I think that it's an instrument storing room, and I think it's a bunch of trumpets. And Charlie is totally just gonna immediately grab one. And he's just gonna kind of cradle it and like then look at it for a second. And he's gonna try to play it because he knows that this is the music space, but she's never seen a trumpet before. So she puts her mouth to the other end where the sound usually comes out, and then tries to yodel. And as the roommates know, Charlie cannot yodel, and so Charlie just starts screaming into this trumpet, and doesn't really understand what's happening. But like there's sounds being given back. It's like making a different sound. So Charlie was like, "Yeah, it's totally how you use this thing." And so just like lets out like one little ah, and then just like kind of looks around and waits to see if anybody responds.
Sophia is just like, "Oh my God, you're gonna get us caught! Please stop!" That's terrible.
Be subtle, Charlie.
Is this? I thought. Is this not what these are for? I thought.
And then I mute
No,
Charlie.
no, that's not what they're for.
I'll say, I think if this is okay with you, Dreamy, I think it's funny if you can only mute one person at a time. So as soon
I will as soon as Charlie gets muted, Bellamy gets unmuted. Yeah.
Cool.
And Sophia's just like, "No, that's not what that's for."
I do want to say I only want to mute Charlie for like 10 seconds just to like quickly shut them up so that they stop making the noise, and then as soon as like they kind of get it, then I do unmute them because it's just like a quick, like, it's an easy solution to like very quickly get them quiet.
Yeah. True.
I want to say, as Charlie is maybe a little sullen at this response from everybody else, and I'm newly unmuted, I want to whisper to Charlie, I thought it was transcendent.
Thanks, Bellamy.
So I don't know if this would count, but I'd like to establish the fact that 10 years ago, you know, back when Sophia was like a little kid, her mom was actually the coach of the last winning team.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I like that.
Because I was like, wait, the math doesn't add up. But also, her mom was also in the team when she was a student.
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
I just realized, wait, the math doesn't add up. She wouldn't have been a student. 10 years
I
ago,
like that.
But like,
Yeah,
yeah.
double
So-
invested.
Yeah, no, exactly. So I don't know if that would count as one of my weak moves to establish
for sure. Yeah,
a
take
fact
token.
or tradition. Yeah, I will. I'm like, I want to start picking up tokens because
Yeah.
God
You're gonna
damn,
need
this-
them.
This is going to be a problem in a few minutes, I feel.
Yeah.
I hate to
While
break it to.
yeah. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Charlie.
I was just gonna say I hate to break it to the group, but Charlie and Mia are not thinking about tokens, so I will try my best. But I will not be remembering them for strong moves. I apologize now.
Yeah, you get them from doing your weak moves. So so if you can just
I will try my
that's just
best.
it's okay. I think you're doing great.
Yes.
I just was like I love playing these narrative-based games and I love going with the flow, but I'm also my my game brain. So don't mind me.
Sorry, I'm just messing. The players can no longer hear the music from Spotify. I believe that Stream still can. Sometimes Zoom mutes Spotify if you're trying to play for other people, so I think that's the issue, but I believe Stream can still hear it. So that's why I was vacantly looking away from you and typing while that was happening. Okay, so you have made quite the entrance into DRAB by breaking one of the doors, yelling into a trumpet or trombone, and Sophia, quickly, kind of scolded you and was like, "Hey, what are you doing?" But I think you can find your way to the I think one of the little signs in here is like yodeling practice room or something like that. It says like room 25B or something like that, and you can see the direction that it's in.
While everyone is heading to the room, I'm actually scouting the hallways looking for any sort of glass case, because my goal is to steal the trophy first and foremost.
I would like to note that there are 4 of us, so we could literally steal. Each person could just steal a different thing.
That's true, yeah. Or more than one thing, yeah. I think I'll let. So I had an idea for what this trophy is. Feel free to, someone has a different idea.
Mm-hmm.
But I think maybe this is one of those trophies where it's like it goes back and forth. So like whoever the last person is to win it, their name, like the team name is engraved, and then they keep it for that year. So
that's what I was thinking too.
Yeah, Dreamy, I'll ask you, what do you think this trophy looks like?
I think it is a gold version of a person wearing a dirndl.
Wait, I have to
yodeling.
What is
to look that up.
Yeah, I need to
they have like their hand up to their mouth, and so like the base of the trophy is like a little mountain.
Yeah.
Like a tiny little mountain, and then the top of the trophy is like how like bowling trophies have like a gold person bowling on it. Yeah, so it's a gold person in a dirndl,
which is
with
like
a hand up to their mouth.
Swiss dress, basically, right?
Yes, with their hand up to their mouth, and they're in like the act of yodeling.
Good. Yeah. So yeah, what does do you have any like moves or anything that you want to do as Thea is looking for this trophy? You don't have to, but I'll give you the chance if there's something that you want to activate. And while you're looking at them, for the benefit of chat, the way this game works is every playbook has some regular moves that don't require a token to do. You can just always do them. And then they also have a weak move, which they get a token for doing, and a strong move, which they have to spend a token to do. And then also each playbook has a lore, which is like when someone else behaves a certain way towards that character, that other character gets a token. And then also you can get tokens by, or you can use tokens on special like monthly strong and weak moves. So there's like special moves for month of the broom and month of the brew, and what other ones we do. So yeah, is there a move that you want to do?
I would like to try to use any sort of magic that I can to unlock it, even if it is to the detriment of me. I don't So I want to let my inexperience hurt or embarrass me. I'm okay with being embarrassed because I have a singular goal in mind.
Yeah.
So maybe I try to jimmy the lock with my wand, or try to just like fire some sparks at the lock, you know?
Yeah. I think what happens is, so yeah, the starstruck. Well, actually, you know what? Instead of me deciding something, Mia, you're still controlling the weave right now, right?
I am.
How does this backfire for Thea?
The weave, Thea, you start to feel it sort of like wrap around you, and you're like, okay, this is my jam. I'm totally going to be able to do this.
Yeah.
And at first, water just starts spouting from the edge of your wand when you're trying. You're like ready and focused, and it just kind of like lets out a little bit of water. And then all of a sudden, it is like a fire hydrant opened up hard enough that it launches you backwards at the same time, like busting through the door. The carpet is drenched. There's water everywhere. And Thea, you're kind of just like left there. I would say everybody's probably just at least a little bit drenched from what has just happened. And as soon as the doors are open, then the water dies out, and the weave, you get this like kind of like, I did my job, and it feels very proud of what it did. So the door is indeed open, but now there is a giant spill in the space.
Yeah.
I pick myself up and try to wring out my shirt as best as I can. Thank God I wasn't wearing my witch's clothes, guys, right? Is what I say to the others, totally ignoring the fact that they're probably also drenched. I'm choosing to ignore it. And so I just reach in and grab the trophy because I'm like, this is a win. This is a win for me.
You steal the trophy.
Yeah.
Charlie does start to go around and just kind of like hold their hands around everybody individually for a brief amount of time and cast their warming spell to try and like at least keep them a little bit warmer, since we're all probably a little cold now.
Yeah. What does the spell look like, do you think, the warming spell?
It probably their hands sort of start to glow a little bit, but they're glowing green because Charlie likes to sort of play in the dirt and things like that. And so they're just glowing a little bit green, and they don't touch their hands directly because it can sometimes be uncomfortable for the caster or for the other person. So they just kind of hover around it, and you just kind of get this like little green glow wherever their hands are over you. And it dries your clothes a little bit faster, but the group is probably starting to move on, and Charlie is just following, trying to keep up to get as many people dry as they can.
Very cute. Yeah, you've managed to get into the room, the like club room or whatever for the yodeling contest. What are Bellamy and Sophia after now that you're in this room?
Actually, I think what Sophia is after may not even be in this practice room. I think that the materials that she's looking for, the award-winning yodeling secrets, may be in the coach's office.
Oh,
So she'll check in this room, and if it's not here, she will go find the coach's office, which I figure is nearby. And
yeah, I think I think the coach's office is nearby. I'll also give you the option if you want to make a move from your playbook here in your pursuit of these top secret yodels.
yodeling secrets. I think what I want to do is so do all these strong moves cost one token, or are there some that cost more?
No,
Like,
they all just
cost one.
They all just cost one, yeah.
I have a side note question. So one of my weak moves that I would get a token from doing is to hurt a friend, and then another is to also be shunned. Now earlier It's pretty clear that I hurt Thea's feelings. It is also pretty clear that I was immediately shunned.
I think you can take 2 tokens, yeah.
All right. I just wanted to make that clear.
Yeah.
Well played. Actually, what I think,
here.
hey, there's a power game for every game.
That's true.
You think hard enough. Actually, what I want to do is approach Bellamy and use the lure on their character, and I'm gonna say, hey, buddy, I have this plan. I think the secrets of this award-winning team are in their coach's office. How do you feel about literally breaking the door down?
Okay, so Bellamy, unbeknownst to Sophia, when Sophia says, hey, buddy, Bellamy does that, like, wincing. It's kind of,
oh, no, I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
Okay.
I don't know about Sophia, but you're fine.
Okay. No. I just mean, I don't know if it was okay, I'm sorry.
No, you're totally good. Okay.
No, Sophia's a jerk. You can, I'm sorry on her behalf. But
I would say, or perhaps Bellamy would say, that while they are down for the stealing of these items, opening a door in this way, like smashing one, is a little bit pedestrian for them. They like to have a little bit more finesse. But they might motion to Thea. Has a lot of experience with doors.
Open another
I
door.
left my rock outside, so if you want, I can smash open the handle again.
I don't know. Okay. That did not succeed the way I wanted it to, but that's okay.
You still get to take a token.
I tried. I tried to appeal to their sensibilities, and I failed.
I think you did appeal.
How long do you think it would take to brew a potion?
Yeah, I'll say if you probably would have like prepared for this. So like if you want to say that you have a potion that does a certain thing, I think that's fine.
Charlie walks up to the group and really wanting to impress Bellamy, since Bellamy praised their screaming earlier, just very quietly and simply pulls out a little vial and unscrews it and starts to pour it onto the door handle. And you guys, I'm realizing now this might not be a good idea. Charlie's committed to the bit. Starts to pour it on, and you guys start to see this like sizzling and bubbling as this acid starts to eat away at the door handle, and it just like slowly just drips off. And the door handle is no longer there, and that was what everybody was trying to do. So Charlie's feeling pretty good about that. But
are there any remnants left of the door handle?
I would say yeah, probably. They probably poured it near like where the base of the handle is closest to the door. So like I'm picturing a lever handle. So the lever itself is still probably just kind of clattered to the ground in about one piece.
Thea's going to pick up the lever because I think this is very obviously magic, right? So to leave no traces behind, Thea will also take the handle to like cover our tracks.
Yeah.
It will absolutely hide the fact that there is now a eroded door handle.
The melted part. The coach's door swings open.
Can I do one thing while Sophia is getting into the coach's room? Bellamy is not impressed by Charlie, maybe for the first time, but it seems like they're continuously impressed by Charlie, and takes Charlie off to the side and asks him, what other kind of potions you got going on you tonight?
I mean, is there any goal? Is there something that you're looking?
Here's what I'm looking at. I'm looking at a room that is sopping wet, and I'd like to be looking at a room that is covered in mushrooms of various types. Potentially poisonous if you got them, but we'll see.
Charlie starts to untie their little like shoulder cape thing and swings one side open the way that like the clock seller does in Hercules. It's like, hey, you guys want a clock? But swings it open and it is just lined with vials, but some of them do have little mushrooms in them, and some of them are poisonous, and some of them are just a little psychedelic. But Charlie opens it up and starts to look and just pulls a couple and says go ahead and just sprinkle these mushrooms all over the water, and grabs what looks like a little vial of dirt and then another liquid potion, says, and then just pour it, and this should probably do the trick. And I will say that as Charlie is handing this over, Bellamy, you probably start to feel the weave kind of cocking its head to the side, and it's like, hey, what you got going on there, guys?
I feel it, but the weave and Bellamy are usually on the same ship, so we're going like totally like bottoms up everywhere in this room.
Can I pitch something else that happens during that the display of the things in your cape, Charlie? I think one of the bottles that Charlie goes for, there's like a little it like wiggles a little bit, and then this little mouse like holds one of the one of the types of mushroom vials to like suggest like maybe you want this one.
Specifically, the mouse holds out like the psychedelic one that has the longest trip, and it's like what I'm gonna want to do. And Charlie is like, that's an excellent idea, thank you so much, and definitely make sure that is handed over.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Bellamy, I'll let you describe what do you think this immediately looks like as you're spreading these mushrooms all over the wet carpet?
I mean, Bellamy's really going ham. And I would say, I mean, we've got a psychedelic mushroom and Bellamy's going ham. Maybe, the displacement of these things starts to get a little bit less methodical. And Bellamy's walking also starts to get a little less methodical. But they're still just going for it. They're still going for it. Just the whole time that Sophia's doing her thing with the coach's office.
Yeah.
Would that, do you think, count as Bellamy acknowledging and celebrating my difference as a lore, and I can take a token, do you think?
I think Bellamy gets a token if you're lore.
Oh, okay. I would absolutely. I didn't even know.
Yeah.
See, that's how you know it was a real sign of friendship right there. I didn't even know. I was not for a single thing.
Y'all are being so wholesome right now.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, there's a couple more mushrooms, and they're growing a little bit quicker than probably Charlie was expecting, because the weave is definitely like granting that temporary power. It's like, oh yeah, this is gonna be awesome.
Yeah. Sophia, what do you think? I'll say it's up to you. Where in the room this yodeling secret is, like what exactly kind of it is, how Sophia goes about getting it, that's up to you.
Oh, here's what I think happens after the door swings open and everyone else is kind of run off. There's actually one other person there.
Oh! Yeah.
Just one other person. It doesn't even look like it's the coach. It just looks like another student.
Yeah.
And they were locked in the coach's office?
Well, I mean, maybe they locked the door behind them while they were trying to do. They were trying to do some sneaky, right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Ooh.
So there's someone else in there.
Yeah.
And I think what will happen here is that so Sophia kind of panics and points her wand at this kid And then I would like to use the strong move of cast a previously
Oh,
is
yeah.
it?
So
A previously unrevealed spell.
Yeah.
She just panic casts something. Like
what is
she
it?
hasn't even properly learned it yet.
Yeah. So the way this moves, not all of you have this move. I think the Starstruck and the Hedge don't have this move since your magic works a little bit differently. But for anyone who does have this move, you get to make up a new spell. You spend a token and make up a brand new spell that your witch can then, from that point on, use as one of their regular spells, if that makes sense. So you're adding a spell to your repertoire in this moment.
Essentially, it summons like 50 feet of rope.
Yeah, so are you,
but then what happens is she just panic cast it, so the rope, basically it's a magical rope that she can control to do whatever, and it just mummifies the student and just like
yeah. I'm looking at the town moves to see if there's anything interesting I can do here.
this random kid.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mummify, like, it doesn't cover their mouth.
Okay.
It just covers their body.
If it doesn't cover their mouth, ooh.
Can they say something?
Yeah. I think I'm gonna I think I'm going to do there's a move that the town can do, which is try to fleece, con, or deceive the witches. So you like wrap this rope, around the student. And he says, I promise I won't tell anyone about that you're here. I was just trying to study late at night in here, and I don't even want our team to win. So I'm rooting for Whimsy.
Can I shoot a stream of water into their face?
Are we waterboarding?
Yeah, and I'm able to do that?
Yeah, that's it's just a regular move, I think, to cast a spell.
Water.
So, yeah.
Okay, so I shoot a stream of water into the face and I shout, "Water!"
They just go, water just going into their face.
So then I stop shooting the water at them to hear their response really fast.
They say, I promise I'm not lying. I think
You are lying! And then I shoot the water at them again.
Yeah, just again.
And I don't stop.
I'm gonna look. Oh, okay. First of all, Thea is hilarious, but also Sophia is probably just going to just find there isn't a move that I can do. Although does this count as, well, no, it doesn't count as making a scene. It's just I was like, wait, no. Okay.
You can do things that aren't moves. So like if you want to
Well, no, I was just trying to see if I can do something. And then she's just looking. There is a drawer on the coach's desk that she's just looking through the drawers, and she's like, after a few minutes, produces a giant binder. She's like, this looks like it has lots of.
It says yodeling secrets on the front of it.
So everyone is just ignoring the fact that Thea is like actively torturing this person.
I think Bellamy and Charlie aren't in the room.
They aren't even in the room.
Like.
You're the only one who just came
Sophia,
in and started doing this.
Sophia's like, all right, that person's being waterboarded. I'm gonna just get what I came here for.
I mean, I feel like this is a take action sort of moment. I'm just like, okay, Thea, we're good. Let's go.
We can't just leave. This person has seen our faces.
Can I have Sophia summon another 50 feet of rope and just wrap it around the rest of this kid?
Yeah. So you just respond by wrapping them up more. Yeah.
As I call for Charlie. I'm like, Charlie!
Charlie has a trumpet in one hand and has grabbed a music stand in the other, but toddles over.
Charlie, we need a potion.
Charlie, here's what I'm gonna say. I'm gonna do another town move. You, I think, are coming in and hearing, like, the student kind of being like, oh, no, like, protesting. You recognize his voice. You can't see his face or anything right now. He is the younger brother of one of your very good friends, Evelyn, who runs the flower shop in Bellowitch.
Excuse me. Charlie is sort of toddling over at the sound of Thea's voice and, like, hadn't really been paying attention, and then starts to hear this other voice, the voice of the student, and, like, drops what they were holding and starts, like, actually running over, kind of slipping and sliding in the water, because they've only got the one shoe on, so the foot doesn't have any track.
Yeah.
You guys just see the light up shoe, like, sporadically lighting up down this hallway.
Yeah.
But stands there for a second and takes Timothy and Thea. Are you still waterboarding this child?
Yes. I'm going to keep waterboarding him until someone stops me.
Yes.
No, I actively stop you and just wrap the kid in more rope instead. I'm like, okay, stop. We gotta go. And then.
How does Sophia? Your solution is doing nothing. He's already seen us.
No, but now, well.
He's wrapped up in rope. They're gonna find him in the morning, and he's gonna tell on us because he knows what we look like.
So Charlie walks in just as, like, the rope is coiling up, and it's like, wait, what are we doing? What is happening? I think that's Ethan. Ethan, is that you? And I imagine that Ethan can only see about eyes now.
Just wide eyes.
Wait. Hold on. You know this kid, and I take the 50 feet of rope. Like one of the 50 feet of rope that just unwraps the top half.
Mm-hmm.
And said, "Wait, Charlie, is this kid? I imagine Ethan is also college age."
Yeah. So we're saying kid, but, like, not a child, a college kid. Yeah.
Okay. So do we try? Okay, so this person over here, and she points at Ethan on the floor, like burrito and rope. Says that they don't even, like, care about DRAB's yodeling team and are rooting for us. Do you believe them?
Ethan's just looking at you, like, wide eyes.
Charlie kneels down and starts trying to undo the rope.
No, it's magically sealed, so, like, Sophia is essentially just waiting for Charlie to respond, like, is this kid trustworthy? Do you trust him before, like, letting the rope go?
Charlie turns and looks at Sophia and is like, I mean, I think that he's trustworthy enough to not be bound and gagged. What is going on?
No one gagged him.
I mean, I did.
I think so. The second rope, I think, gagged him.
I undo the initial rope, and I said, okay, the first one was an accident. I panicked. The second one I thought was a good idea. I'm sorry. And she just undid it. She magically points the wand at she points the wand at the rope, and then the rope just magically undoes itself.
Ethan kind of like, oh, that's okay. Better than whatever that psycho was doing to me.
Shut up! And then I mute him.
I mean, I feel like different levels here.
He is currently muted right now because I did mute him, but I will unmute him if Charlie has any questions. Charlie, do you think you can get the truth out of this kid?
Charlie is actually going to jealously guard the knowledge, which is a weak move, of the fact that Ethan is a phenomenal yodeler. But Charlie is is kind of like distressed by this whole situation, and Ethan being Evelyn's younger sibling. So Charlie is like, absolutely, Ethan is about the same as yodeling as I think you guys think I am, and I'm an excellent yodeler, but nobody else believes it, so I don't think Ethan is very good either.
Ethan is nodding.
I think the easiest solution here would be, Charlie, you have to have a potion, right? That they'll make him forget.
Charlie opens up the other side of their,
Yeah.
their cave and looks at him, and the mouse kind of skitters down their arm and kind of shakes one of them and nudges it forward, and Charlie's like, oh, that's just gonna kill him.
Poor Ethan.
And kind of stares for a second and is like, well, I could probably make something, but I think it's going to take me time. I didn't think we were going to have to wipe any memories tonight, so I didn't exactly plan for this. But I have a psychedelic still that could probably be a lot of fun. And is saying this very openly in front of Ethan.
Yeah, Ethan nods when you say, I have a fun psychedelic. Ethan's like, yeah.
I just want to reiterate, while this is happening, Bellamy is still in the other room. I think at this point, they've been like kind of rolling on the ground for a while, and ever since Thea had shouted for Charlie, now Bellamy is rolling on the ground going, Charlie, Charlie, right, throughout this entire interaction. So just keep that in your mind.
Charlie kind of gestures behind them and is like, Bellamy's having a great time with this mushroom, guys. I think that this could maybe work, and starts to pull the mushroom out of the vial unless anybody's going to stop him.
Okay, here's what I think we should do with Ethan. Okay, we should give him the psychedelic for sure. And he can, yeah, and it'll be like this just all happened in his imagination. But we do have to give him to an authority figure so that they also know he's on psychedelics. So then if he tries to tell the truth, no one will believe him, because they'll be like, oh, that kid was just like super high on psychedelics.
Okay, do you think that if we leave him here, then like with questionable credibility, then it'll be fine? Like if the coach found him here like high off his rocker, unreliable narrator?
We don't know that the coach is going to find him. What if he is not high anymore by the time someone does find him? We have to drop him off, I don't know, in front of the police station or something.
There are, I think, definitely on campus, like, because most college campuses have those like things that you can like push the button and it'll like, call either campus security or somebody over.
Oh, okay, we can leave him then, and I can just I can make a call at one of those booths and be like, someone's doing crazy things in the music building.
Can I just walk Ethan home and take him back to Evelyn? Would that be okay?
Okay, is Ethan going to tell on us?
I don't think Ethan would.
So I look at Ethan like,
I think he's still muted, right? So he just is shaking his head.
Yeah, he's still
furiously.
muted.
Yeah.
I think if we offer him enough psychedelics, it'll be like, I think he'll be fine. We'll just bribe him into silence. Let me see. Do I want to incite fear? No. There's already plenty of that. Let me see. Major advantage through your status.
Question.
Yeah.
If fear has already been thoroughly incited, and then
I got that one for free.
and then
I think.
he is also on psychedelics, would that not influence Ethan's trip? If he's already in a state
he would
of
have a
extreme
really
fear.
bad trip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this would be a bad trip. If you get waterboarded and then immediately do psychedelics, I don't think it's gonna be a good time.
I did not expect that.
We did give him the psychedelics though.
Okay.
Well, Charlie would ask Thea, could you unmute him? We have to get consent for these kinds of things. I don't want to just feed him some psychedelics without him knowing.
Okay, so I unmute him, but I threateningly hold my wand out to him so that he knows that if he chooses the wrong answer, water will be spurted at him.
He says, I mean, it's been a rough night. I would love some psychedelics to to wind down.
Charlie sits down across from Ethan and starts explaining, like, okay, so these are the phases of the trip that you're going to go through, and if you start feeling like this is what you should do. Like, Charlie, from experience, knows exactly how this trip is going to go.
Yeah.
Spends a lot of time in the forest floor just tripping on mushrooms.
Yeah.
But Charlie just, like, explains everything and is like, I'm just going to walk you home to Evelyn and everything's going to be okay? And just portions out probably enough to give even, like, a 4 to 6 hour trip. Doesn't want it to be, like, too long, but enough to maybe forget the trauma that we have inflicted as a group on him.
Yeah, he takes the psychedelics and it's just kind of like, seems like he's just kind of biding his time. Doesn't want anything else to happen.
So Charlie, you can walk him home, is what Thea says. But before Charlie leaves with Ethan, I turn to Ethan and I'm like, if you open your mouth, you know what's gonna happen. Yeah.
Charlie links arms with Ethan, expecting that the trip will probably start like during their walk back. Mia does not actually have a sense of pacing, so like nobody holler at me if I'm like getting this scientifically and accurately.
Don't tweet at us.
Yeah, I wrote one paper about psychedelics my first year at college, so like I'm not. But on the way out, well, first of all, it's like, can y'all please make sure that Bellamy gets home safe? Steps gingerly over Bellamy.
Charlie! Charlie!
Definitely stops and is like, Bellamy, they're gonna get you home safe, okay?
Charlie.
And
Okay, so Thea has a trophy. I have the book of yodeling secrets, and we also have to get Bellamy into the flying car. Okay, yeah, no, it's fine. Don't worry about it. Charlie, go take care of Ethan.
Charlie grabs the trumpet and the music stand under one arm, Ethan linked to the other, and walks Ethan home. And Ethan and Evelyn live above the flower shop. And as they're walking, Charlie is like trying to awkwardly not drop their things and like kind of fix their overalls and make themselves look a little bit nicer, just in case.
I feel like Sophia would have offered to take the things for Charlie, like if there was something she wanted to take back, because she does have a flying Tesla.
So you go to try to grab them, and Charlie's like, no, these are for Evelyn. I think that she will like them.
So cute.
Oh.
And takes them.
Oh.
And so Charlie kind of just like sits Ethan down and knocks on the door. Taylor, I don't know if you want to roll.
Yeah,
I'm happy to.
Yeah, I'm playing the town, so this works perfectly because Evelyn's part of the town. So yeah, Evelyn is kind of has like short, like not super short, but like to here, like kind of sandy blonde, like light brown hair, and it's like, I'm imagining it's nighttime, but it's not like super late. So she comes to the door. She's wearing like kind of not pajamas, but like kind of like soft like nighttime clothes, you know, so like oversized t-shirt and like you know, shorts, like sleeping short kind of things. Comes to the door and is like, oh, Ethan, hi, what's going on?
Charlie shifts and like holds Ethan toward his sister.
Ethan stumbles and he's like soaking wet also because everything in the room was like wet and getting waterboarded and everything. Kind of stumbles in. Ethan is also going, Charlie, having picked it up from Bellamy. Yeah.
And Charlie just kind of hands him over and is like, well, and is like fiddling with their hair with their free hand and like won't make eye contact. Well, I kind of found Ethan. I don't know what's going on, but I don't know. I just wanted to make sure that he got home safe, but I also got you these things. And like, no smooth segue. Pulls up this trumpet and the music stand, and it's like, I think that this and pointing to the music stand, this could be like a really cool display for some of the new flowers, like the ones that are in season. And I thought that this is a microphone, but I think it would be a really cool base for some of the flowers that you want to put together. And so I thought maybe that you could like gift this to somebody, you know, maybe somebody that you like, but only if you ever felt like it. And it doesn't have to be somebody that you like, but I would really like a trumpet full of flowers. And it's just like rambling, not paying any attention to Ethan at this point.
I'm gonna use the town move, find common ground and understanding with the witches. So you offer these gifts, and Evelyn takes them, you know, kind of is holding on to them, looking at them, and is like, I never thought about using a musical instrument that way for like a vase, but it would work pretty well. And this music stand, I think I could find a place for this thing. Charlie, you have such a unique way of looking at things, and you think of things I would never think of for flower displays.
Charlie is blushing aggressively. And it's just like, well, you know, I don't know. I think it's a pretty cool flower shop, and I don't know. I think it's some good ideas, and I can bring you more ideas. I could probably find a couple more trumpets, really, if you wanted to. If you just like hang out here for like an hour, I could bring you a lot of trumpets for sure.
Well, let's see how this one works first, because you know when you're running a shop, you don't want to, you know, put all your eggs in one basket. But maybe if this trumpet vase catches, you know, becomes like a fad, then maybe we could do that.
Of course, you're so smart. Also about your brother, and just starts outlining again the phases of the trip, and it's like, okay, so like I think probably, and it's pretending to like suggest this, like Charlie's like, I don't know, but it's going way too detailed, and it's very clear that Charlie knows exactly what to expect. But just gives Evelyn all the information.
I think Evelyn, as you're like going through the whole thing, Evelyn is like, do you just want to like hang out here for a little while so you can like, it seems like you really know what's going on.
Mia as an individual is like reliving like romantic moments, and I'm like, oh god, this is where I start to panic. I think that Charlie is feeling really unconfident, looks down at their little light up shoe, and they've kind of been fidgeting, so it's still like blinking, and is going to use the weak move of retreat to solitude. And is just kind of looks around, and their friends aren't with him anymore, and so he's kind of like, oh, I don't actually know what to do here. So just kind of like very bashfully, he's like, oh, I don't know. I think you've got it, and I think that you can take care of Ethan. But maybe I can come by like sometime this weekend, maybe?
Yeah, that'd be great. You can come by the shop whenever you want. It's open to the public.
Me as an individual is very sad about that. Charlie's like, oh.
Evelyn also looks like when you turn them down, Evelyn also retreats a little bit and is kind of like backpedaling and saying like, oh yeah, like you can come by the shop whenever.
Charlie is like, oh, okay. And is like slowly backing away. Shoot, with one shoe. I'm very fixated on that as a person now. But it's just like, oh, okay, Evelyn. Well, have a good night. And I don't have a phone, but if you need anything, and just like walks away. It's like, oh fuck, I don't know how to help here, and just like starts walking away very quickly.
Yeah. I think that's a good place for someone else to frame a new scene. Assuming that the rest of you get back to the university with your things.
I definitely wait for like Charlie to come back.
Oh yeah.
Because we're carpooling.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Sophia is a bit of a jerk sometimes, but you know.
Not gonna leave somebody.
It's very kind.
There are two like groups that matter to her, like her team and her roommates. So she's got to look out for her roommates.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
But yeah, no. Essentially, we will all carpool.
Yeah.
I summon the flying Tesla. Let's go.
Yeah, you get back. Actually, I said this is a good place to frame a scene, but I just looked at the time, and we've been streaming for an hour and 40 minutes. So actually, I think this is a good time for us to take our halfway break. And
We took a lot of time for that one.
yeah.
It was pretty fun. I love this.
Yeah, that was very good. So we're gonna take a 15-minute break. Oh, you know what? I didn't. Hang on. I'll just fix it later. I didn't put the bios for everybody, I think, in, but I'll fix it. So while you're on break, after 1 second, you'll see everyone's bios and information for them, because I think I forgot to update it before the stream. So yeah, we'll see you all in 15 minutes. Do you want to say goodbye to chat?
Are you asking us?
Goodbye. Yeah,
Okay.
sorry. I was looking away. Yes. Goodbye. Felicitations, adventurers! Welcome back to Roll for Felicity, where we are playing Cantrip by Misha Panarin. So far, it has been a total blast, a lot of chaos, a lot of fun little witches. I'm gonna be elaborating more on what happened in the first half for anyone who missed it. But also for anyone who missed the first half, we're going to be reintroducing ourselves. First of all, my name is Taylor. I use she, her pronouns, and I am the person who runs Roll for Felicity. So whether I'm playing video games on stream during the week or one-shots like this on the weekend, usually the person running them, that's me. But that's enough about me. Let me throw it over to my guests. And this time we're going to go in a reverse order. So we're going to start with Mia. Do you want to reintroduce yourself to people and also let them know any other projects or things that you're working on, have going on?
Sure. Hello, everybody. My name is Mia. My pronouns are they, them, theirs. You can find me on Twitter at uptight_chiffon. Usually just rambling about things, but I'm also part of the Lost Caravan stream every once in a while. And so I will actually be joining them for 8 or 9 week mini D&D campaign starting on August 27th. So cool. I'm really excited. We're sort of playtesting an expansion that somebody has created. So I can't share too much about it, but I'm playing a barbarian for the first time. I'm really excited about that.
Cool.
So yeah. I'm super stoked, and I always just like to encourage everybody to check out all the cool things that everybody else on this stream is also doing. But that's me.
Let me give a shout out to the Lost Caravan so people can give them a follow.
Lost Caravan RPG. I love. I still haven't gotten to be on the channel, but I am really good friends with a bunch of people from that community. Lost Caravan RPG, y'all.
Yeah,
good,
they're a lot of fun.
Good community.
I think so.
Some
I think
really awesome people. I had no idea we were even in that community.
That's how Mia and I met. We did a one-shot. Yeah, we were both in a one-shot.
Yo! Oh my gosh. Sometimes I love how that works out.
Perfect. Dreamy, do you want to reintroduce yourself and let people know what other stuff you got going on?
Hi guys, I'm Dreamy. You can find me on Twitch and Twitter under the username DreamyAtude. I mostly stream Final Fantasy and sometimes am in some tabletop RPGs with Taylor. I would like to plug our Vampire the Masquerade stream that we're gonna have in September on this channel, and also plug giving me money. No, I'm just kidding.
That's always a valid plug. Also, Dreamy, you may notice this new overlay that I'm using that Dreamy did for me. And I also got, Tisha just tipped 200 bits. Tisha, let me know which witch you want that to go to, who you want to have a token.
Hi, Tisha!
But yeah, a new overlay by Dreamy, and also I have new panels now by Dreamy. So just more wonderfulness from her. Anne, do you want to reintroduce yourself and let people know other stuff that you got going on?
Okay, let me see if I've got the list of other stuff. Okay, hi, my name is Anne. You can find me on Twitter at XO_girlwonder. I am a TTRPG performer. I am featured on the Girls Run These Worlds channel on Wednesday afternoon at 1 p.m. Eastern. We're having our Lancer finale this Wednesday, episode 8. So that's going to be a big season finale over at Girls Run These Worlds. On Sundays, I play in a Vampire the Requiem Chronicle. I play a vampire with one brain cell for politics and one brain cell for violence over at twitch.tv/dmdm_studios. So that is all the stuff that's going on right now that is live, but yeah, I have yeah, that's it. Follow me on Twitter, and I have a whole page of like essentially my TTRPG actual play portfolio. You can watch a bunch of stuff there.
Very cool. And then Rat Boy, do you want to reintroduce yourself to everybody and let us know what other stuff that you want to plug?
Sure. So I am Littlest Rat Boy, they, them pronouns. And have you ever been indulging in some classic Kraft mac and cheese or pre-made mac and cheese equivalent? And you thought, this is great, love this, wish I could dress it up just a little bit. I'm out of college, I'm in college, and I just need to make this, a little bit more elevated. Might I plug putting in some powdered ranch for just a little bit of a tart flavor. Sounds disgusting, but I'm telling you, you try it one time and you're like, this is a fuller flavor.
It is really good.
There we go.
It is really good.
Up. It is quite good. So
Rat
go
Boy,
ahead and give that a try.
You got to me just a little too late because I literally had Kraft mac and cheese for dinner today because I didn't have time to like make food. So I was like, oh, we got mac and cheese. Too late. Next time. Next time I can try it
Next time, give it a shot. And the benefit, if you are a college student, your classic Kraft mac and cheese, not going to go bad. Great shelf life. Same with your powdered ranch. Great
True.
Shelf life. It'll be there for you in a pinch.
Can I also quickly shout out barbecue sauce in tuna salad sandwiches? Because that's
you
a
may
thing
not.
I do.
Rat Boy does not agree
Well,
with
too late for that. Because it happened.
With that, I feel like that could have also just been in character as your witches. We've been playing Cantrip, like I mentioned earlier, by Misha Panarin, which you should get if this hasn't, been just watching it hasn't been enough to convince you. I'll just tell you should do it. Which there should be a link in chat with the game itself, and then also you can follow Misha Panarin on Twitter. Both those links are in chat right now. So you should totally play it. Also, as Captain Freestar did, during the game, if you want to tip $2, you can pick one witch and give them a token to use, which is one of the main mechanics of the game. Or for $5, you can give all 4 of the witches a token to use. Captain Freestar did choose Dreamy, so Dreamy, go ahead if you haven't already and take a token. So far, we've determined that WIMSY, this magical college that all the witches attend, is just about to be in a yodeling competition. And their main rival is, in fact, the yodeling team of their school. So WIMSY has 2 parts. WIMSY is a satellite school of DRAB, which is the non-magical part of the school, which has a stellar yodeling team. In the first half, how many bits to cause problems on purpose? I didn't do a big, sometimes I do like a $10, you can like cause a lot of drama, but because this game is more, like collaborative, I didn't do that for this time. So if you give the witches tokens, I think a lot of their moves cause a lot of problems on purpose.
I already waterboarded someone, Tisha.
Yeah. But yeah, they just the waterboarding. The witches broke into DRAB and took some of the the competition, some of their things, including a trophy and their secret yodeling book of secrets. And with that,
We stole things.
So
we're just a bunch of kleptomaniacs.
Yeah. But we talked about it a little bit during the break, but I'm gonna throw it over to Rat Boy for them to set the next scene. What are our witches doing next?
Oh, okay. So upcoming, we have maybe a preliminary yodeling competition. And our school is notoriously extremely competitive about these kind of things. DRAB is remarkably less competitive, but also remarkably much better at yodeling in general. And so while they are unawares, we are all each in our own way going to try and ensure the yodeling victory for WIMSY.
And also, Anne, Captain Freestar also gave you a token, specifically saying, I'm gonna give a token to the person that suggested barbecue on tuna, because that sounds like someone who would cause problems on purpose.
I mean, they're not wrong.
Perfect. So yeah, I think this preliminary is taking place on the grounds of WIMSY. And what is everybody getting up to get ready for this preliminary, as it's I think starting like pretty immediately soon.
Have we established, has there been a time skip since our little DRAB endeavor?
That's up to you, since you're setting the scene. We had suggested that there is, like, during break, but it's ultimately your discretion.
Okay, so I would like to say that there has been a bit of a time skip. We've had some time to prepare for these preliminaries, and because of that, Bellamy has a handful of soon-to-be expired library books that they are, kind of going around. They're carrying with them, but they're placing them around in some assorted places. So that's what they are up to right now.
Perfect. Are we skipping into the next month? Are we in month of the brew now?
I mean, if we're not, I mean,
it's up to Rat Boy. Do you want to skip to
oh yeah, that's true.
Do you want to skip to month of the brew, or do you want to keep in month of the broom?
Let's say, ooh, I think I would like to stick to month of the broom, specifically because this is, may I say what the moves are?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, so the weak moves for month of the broom are to have an embarrassing magical accident involving a bunch of dads, which I love. My character happens to have a bunch of dads. And then the strong move is to get some juicy gossip from someone's parents. So because we're having a preliminary, it seems like there would be a lot of proud parents here on campus.
Yeah.
And it'd be a perfect time to kind of get up to that nonsense as well.
Perfect. So we've established Bellamy's kind of going around and putting these soon-to-be expired. How close do you think they are to being expired or overdue library books, Bellamy? Like, are we talking minutes? Are we talking days?
We're talking minutes to hours. It depends. I would say Bellamy kind of has their own system going on of checking things out at different times. And of course, depending on the popularity of the book, they have different expiration. They're different due dates. But Bellamy's been doing this for a bit. They've got it to a science, and they want to inflict maximum chaos, and I think they got a plan to do that.
Yeah.
I will say that the weave is definitely making sure that some people are turning their heads whenever Bellamy is putting these books away, and also when Bellamy walks away is grabbing some of these books out of those bags and dropping them in somebody else's, just to keep it a surprise for Bellamy, so Bellamy won't even know which books are where.
Perfect.
Love that.
Are my parents able to be here at the preliminaries just because they're normies?
Yeah, I think so. So we decided that, like, WIMSY is a secret, but it's like everyone in Bellowitch knows that WIMSY exists, and I think the parents of, like, students of WIMSY would know. So it's not like, you're totally sequestered from the rest of society. So yeah, if you want your parents to be here, they can be here.
I just want to say that Thea's dressed up in her witchiest looking clothes today. She like full on like hocus pocus style.
Oh yeah.
With a huge pointy hat and dark colored velvets. Because she wants to look her best to impress the other witches, and also to show off that she is indeed a witch to the to the DRAB students.
Yeah.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how many artificial warts is Thea wearing?
I'm thinking, I you know what? I feel like Thea would wear an artificial wart, just one.
Okay, where's the placement?
Yeah.
On the nose.
Yeah.
Like directly right in the middle of the nose, like
it's
on the tip of the
nose? It's kind of like a Rudolph the reindeer situation.
I see. Okay, all right.
Good, very good. Yeah.
Charlie is kind of just hanging out and will just randomly stop in whatever hallway and pull out teeth, and sort of shake them really aggressively and drop them, and is attempting to read. And just so that everybody's aware, all of these teeth were sourced from bodies that had donated, people that had donated the bodies to science. These are ethically sourced teeth. And would just kind of sit and try to read them. And anybody who is paying attention would see that the teeth actually, every time they fall, land in either yes or no. They actually spell out the words.
Oh, wow.
And so it kind of looks like Charlie is just like, oh no, and like just kind of being weird. But there is actually magic happening here. And that's a lot of that is the weave who's like trying to help Charlie out, and also lead them astray. But Charlie is kind of just like asking, like, is so and so going to perform the best? Is Sophia going to be ready for the yodeling competition? And shakes the teeth and lays it out, and the teeth say yes. And then is DRAB going to lose this year? And like the teeth don't spell out anything because the weave doesn't.
It's just a question mark.
So yeah, that is what Charlie is up to during this time.
Ask again later.
Divination teeth, I love that.
So many teeth to spell all these things.
It is.
Mm-hmm.
Sophia, this is probably a pretty big day for you. What do you think Sophia's doing? And also, are her parents here?
Her parents are definitely here. And I think actually, ooh, that's a good. I would like to, so DRAB is coming up to WIMSY to compete in this, correct?
Yeah, I think that's good.
I would like to just, I kind of want to, at some point, seek out Ethan, if Ethan is at this competition.
Oh, yeah. Well, I was gonna say, maybe before that, nobody has to do this, but Dreamy, you are currently controlling the adult witches.
Yes.
Which would include Sophia's parents.
Oh, okay.
So do we want to have a scene between Sophia and one of her parents?
Yeah, I'm gonna say both of her parents are there today because they have very high expectations of their daughter. They have threatened to take away her flying Tesla if she does not make it past the preliminaries.
Oh,
No, not the flying Tesla. Wait.
Yeah.
It's a spell? Take away your magic.
yeah.
They're threatening it.
Oh no.
And also to cut off some of her allowance. Because they really, but the thing is, they're being so harsh to her because they actually really believe in her. They really think that she can get past the preliminaries, so they're trying to really incentivize her. You know?
Yeah, and she's just absolutely like, yeah, I got this. I'm so pumped. And like, I think that she intentionally withholds the fact that she's told DRAB's secrets. So her parents think she's on the up and up and just working really hard, right?
Yeah.
So she's just like, we've been practicing so hard, Mom and Dad. Like, I'm so excited, and we're gonna kill it.
I think especially her parents, while they do really believe in her, they like to play like kind of a cold shoulder sort of style of parenting. Yeah, tough love. And so her dad's like, we'll see. Just no other response other than we'll see. And her mom maybe takes out a fan from her purse and fans herself, just like can't be bothered sort of style. Although they do care.
Yeah, no, she's low key, like, when she's just around other students, she likes to project this air of confidence and everything, but she's really just, a young girl seeking her parents' approval.
Yeah,
sort of vibes.
don't embarrass the loving family, her father says to her before as like a warning before the preliminaries start.
Yeah, no, her parents are pretty hardcore about this, so she just goes off like, yeah, I have to go, and she runs away and tries not to cry, and just like she's like, I have to make my parents proud. Anyway, that's her whole thing on her mind, but she is actually just like
looking for Ethan.
Yeah, she has this. She has this plan in her mind that she's going to apologize for the waterboarding for her friend. It's like, I'm really sorry about that. My friend just gets really intense sometimes. Yeah. But also that you really mean it, that you didn't want DRAB to win.
Yeah, I think I can play Ethan and I can swap out and take over the town, but I'll also extend if one of the other of you want to swap and take over the town temporarily and play Ethan. I'm also down for that, if anybody wants to take over the town. You don't have to.
I'll play for Ethan, that's fine.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I'll do Ethan.
Alright. Bellamy is taking the town.
Okay.
Which is putting the student body, I think, back in play. So Sophia finds Ethan and is like, hey, sorry about my friend waterboarding you, and also
so did you really mean it?
Yeah, did you really mean it that you're against
you don't
DRAB?
want...
Well, so I think we've established that DRAB is not very competitive, so I would say that Ethan, while he's still, I think, on edge around Sophia, and maybe like when she comes up, he like recoils just a little bit, like still very much living that trauma, would then say, yeah, I think we should all win sometime. Everybody needs a win. So of course I would support WIMSY. Why not?
Okay, so I'm going to tell you a secret, because, in the interest of full disclosure, there is a weak point in our team, and we need help. And I was thinking, like, I heard rumors about you, like, being super awesome, and I was thinking, what if we, like, disguised you, and, maybe you joined our team and helped even the odds.
Mm-hmm.
And I would like to use the I don't know which one it would be, either secure a major advantage through my status or just bring adversaries together. I want to use one of those moves. I don't know which one would be more appropriate. What do you think, Taylor? Help.
I'm
not really doing this through status, though. I think I just want to, like,
maybe bring adversaries together makes more sense, because I guess Ethan wouldn't really necessarily care. I think it's more of a question though for Rabboy, since they're controlling Ethan right now. Like, do you think Ethan would respond to Sophia's like witch status, or is Ethan like genuinely like, oh yeah, let's like make friends or whatever?
So one of the town's moves is to find common ground and understanding with the witches, and I think that Ethan would definitely be understanding and would really feel for this struggle. At the same time, I think Ethan is still very much afraid of Sophia and just like wants to leave her presence as soon as possible.
But one who waterboarded them!
I don't think that Ethan would be that discriminating.
No, that's fair.
Just, you are part of the twosome that bound and waterboarded him.
Yeah.
Look, that's fair. No, that's absolutely fair.
So I think for that reason, he would also then shun and isolate you.
Oh,
he would not in necessarily as disrespectful of a way as that sounds.
Yeah.
But he should say, like, reflect on your wickedness.
You
god.
can say reflect on your wickedness.
Which is maybe the nicest way he can think to put it. And then he leaves.
Does he agree to help? Because if he doesn't, I'm gonna have to go rethink my plan.
I think he would say, I feel for you, but actions have consequences. Reflect on your wickedness. And then he leaves.
Oh my god.
So was that a no thank you?
That is a respectfully no thank you.
Okay, that's fair. She was trying to turn over a new leaf, but I guess forgiveness is hard earned.
Are we able to find
after
out?
you've bound and waterboarded somebody, you know.
Look, I only did 50% of that.
I think there are
It's
some
true.
things that just take time.
No, I know, but you know,
You gotta at least try. Yeah, those are bad.
I mean, you know, I think that Sophia recognizes that it was awful. So I think that was the attempt to like make strides towards. Like I didn't expect it to work.
Jamie, were you gonna ask something?
Are we able to find out who Sophia thinks the weak link is?
Yeah, ooh.
Is there a move for that?
There's not a move for that. Who? There could be moves in the aspects, though. Let me look at the adult witch's aspects. I don't know. I think because no one else really heard that as of right now, unless someone has a pitch. It was
just
Okay.
me setting Ethan aside. Although,
Can
the adult witch is probably someone would probably.
Can
know,
I
like,
have an adult witch suddenly appear?
Yeah, that's one of the moves.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so an adult witch
Okay.
appears unexpectedly and overhears Sophia's plan.
Ooh,
And yeah, they're like, "Excuse me, miss. Just what do you think you're trying to do with DRAB?"
Nothing. It didn't work, actually.
It is against school policy to have a non-witch compete in a witch school.
I mean, yeah, that's fair. He said no. I tried, but I
Sophia is so
failed.
defeated. It's breaking my heart.
I mean, like,
Aren't you Sophia loving?
yeah.
Your parents will hear about this.
Oh no!
I would like to say that I get a token for either failing to uphold what's expected of me or letting my upbringing or my haughtiness hurt or embarrass me in some way. I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's fair.
Definitely.
The adult witch grabs Sophia's arm and forces her to join the other students who are like getting ready for the preliminaries, and then says very loudly, "How dare you try to cheat
No!
in the preliminaries!"
I think the academy, the school itself, which has a mind of its own, one of the desires of the academy is to discourage rule breaking.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
I think the floorboards of whatever this place is start to like tilt subtly up to like make everyone come to where this adult witch is and like raise up a little bit where Sophia. Also, Jamie, you have to name who is this adult witch.
This adult
I wanna
witch,
know what you would name her.
Is it the coach?
It is
The yodeling coach?
It is not the yodeling coach. It is the potions professor who's very jealous of the yodeling coach, actually, because they had previously tried to get the yodeling coach position because they know it's like a very important role in the school, and instead they were relegated to teaching multiple other classes, including potions, arts, and crafts, see, look, their other elective is so unimportant I can't even think of it.
Do you have a name for this witch, or I do have a witch name generator up that I could.
Yeah. Go ahead and generate the name.
All right, let me see. How about? Ooh. Evanora Demone.
Yeah, she sure is demoning here, you know.
I'm glad we all have adult characters. That's all I'm gonna say.
How dare you cheat! Try to cheat during the preliminaries. Professor Demone says to Sophia in a pretty loud voice, you know.
I would love to know what Bellamy and because I think definitely because of like the way the Academy is like reacting to this, Bellamy and Charlie, you would definitely notice Sophia getting in trouble, and also Thea, but but not to make Dreamy have to play two characters in the same scene.
Charlie is sitting there with their teeth when the ground starts to rise, and they're like, "Oh no, my teeth!" And start like scrambling after them and see everything going on. And they are going to like step to the side, kind of behind everybody, and pull out their like smaller cauldron that they keep on them and start dropping ingredients in. And they're going to take the weak move of mess up a potion or remedy and cause an explosion because they feel really bad for Sophia and they want the attention off of Sophia. So, but I also don't want to interrupt whatever Bellamy or Theo might be doing if they are like engaging in the scene. So that's Charlie's goal, but I would say it takes probably a second because they're like, instinct is to do it right. And they're like, no, wait a second, I gotta put this in instead. So yeah, that's what Charlie's working on.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Melanie, for adding the bubbling cauldron sound effect. Yeah, what is Bellamy doing?
Well, so Bellamy has noticed all of this hubbub. And while I don't know that Bellamy is necessarily altruistic enough to want to help just out of the goodness of their heart, I think they do have a lot of little cons that they're very interested in seeing come to fruition. And this is a bit distracting from that. So Bellamy has decided to use a spell that they know, which is to summon exactly one wasp into the hair of Professor Demone.
What does Professor Demone do having this wasp in her hair?
So Professor Demone, while the wasp is in her hair, Bellamy did not specify that the wasp stung the professor just quite yet. So the professor is still going off and getting maybe even more agitated because not only is the professor obviously against rule breaking, but they also feel like this is bringing shame to the school, which, you know, they don't like that. And also the fact that Sophia's parents have such a big role in the school, there's a little bit of a resentment there because you know, Professor Demone did not get the coaching position.
Yeah. And
maybe they blame it a little bit on Sophia's parents because they do have what feels to be quite a say in the school going on. So Professor Demone is just like, how dare you, as a loving, try to bring shame to your family and the school. And is just getting like really worked up.
Yeah. What is
I have a question.
Yeah.
So that conversation with Ethan, because I wanted to do a strong move. Does that mean my token is spent even though it didn't work?
I'll say it's kind of up to you, but also I do think this is making a scene, which you do get a token for. Making a scene is one of your weak moves, and I would say you've caused quite a scene.
Yeah.
So I think you can have a token if you have a strong move you want to do.
Okay, now I just wanted to know if my previous one was spent or not.
I think it's
though
up to you.
Ethan
I'm not
said
going to
no.
be like a hard ass about it.
I'll just go ahead. Yeah,
I think,
that's it.
If I may, I would say, speaking on behalf of Ethan, that while it didn't necessarily work out the way Sophia intended, his heart was moved to some extent. So I do think that it worked, but not necessarily as Sophia intended.
No, that's fair. Well, I spent it, but I also gained one, so
Yeah, so it doesn't.
that's
It's
good.
all wash.
What do you have to say for yourself, Sophia?
I'm sorry.
You
And then she
better be sorry. This is the reputation of the school, and your position as the captain of the yodeling team is
I'm not
compromised.
actually the captain. I'm just the first year. But okay.
I'm not a member of the yodeling team. I can't keep up with that.
I'm sorry. It won't happen again.
I am wondering the timing of this explosion
Yeah,
in partial
I
relation to some books catching fire in bags. I didn't think about that, so.
Yeah, I think the explosion can happen really, Charlie, whenever you would like. And if Bellamy wants to get in on that with some books catching fire, I think those are both great.
I would say probably about now, listening to the teacher ramble on. Charlie does have the idea to like kind of push the like cauldron a little bit away from them, but the weave does push it toward the crowd. So there's a cauldron sliding down the ground because of the way everything is set up.
Yeah.
And I would say probably reaches like just the heels of the back of the crowd, and then just not enough to like shake the school, but definitely enough to like catch some cloaks on fire. Somebody hollers and dives to the ground. It's definitely some all-ensuing chaos. At least I don't know how big the crowd is, but like in this portion of the crowd.
Yeah, definitely the Academy, like, there's magical explosions and mishaps all the time. The Academy itself, like, there's some little, fire deterrent things, like, coming down, like, being created from the ceiling.
I conjure water from my magical flask that conjures any liquid. And just start, putting
I'll
out
say, ooh,
fires.
Sophia, also at the Academy, you see, as all of this chaos is happening, this adult witch is yelling at you, there's this explosion from this cauldron.
What's going on?
this little, doorway kind of, opens up, kind of behind you, offering you a convenient shortcut to, get out of the situation. But it is at a cost, which is that you'll be, leaving the grounds of this competition without having really, restored your honor in this moment where you were embarrassed. So you could choose if you want to just get out of here and escape. You can go through the shortcut and go to another part of the school. But then you would be, this teacher would have embarrassed you without you having done anything to, restore your elevation.
Yeah.
While Sophia's thinking, I will continue playing the adult witch, I guess.
I'm going to actually say, well, maybe I wouldn't have felt like I had to cheat if our captain wasn't so incompetent. And I will use a weak move, cut someone down with harsh words.
I'm going to grab the student body.
Oh, no.
I want to say, as Sophia says this, it's punctuated quite literally by the wasp finally getting a sting in.
Which is the wasp stinging the adult witch?
The adult witch, yeah.
Ouch! What is this?
And the more the adult witch gets kind of alarmed, the more furiously the wasp continues with the stinging.
Oh my god! What is happening?
Sophia, you say this thing of if the captain weren't incompetent, and you just see, looking back at you, the captain of the yodeling team, who, I don't know, maybe you've gotten close to, just looks very sad up at you.
And then she looks at I'm gonna call her Cadence because I like that name. And the captain, and she says, I'm only speaking the truth. You know that I wouldn't be saying this if you were actually winning more often. And then she just kind of huffs off, like really frustrated. So for those who were asking before, who Sophia thought was the weak member of the team,
Was Cadence.
she just kind of storms off, and
can I say that the adult witch sees Sophia storming off, and obviously does not chase after her because Professor Damone is dealing with the wasps still attacking her, and also dealing with the explosion that's happening. But she does yell after Sophia, "Where do you think you're going? Your parents will hear of this." But then doesn't chase after her.
Yeah.
she goes like to a backstage area, but she doesn't take the door, the special door.
Yeah.
She like
goes the other way.
she just goes to the dressing room and kind of just owns what's happened. She's just like,
yeah, I think everyone who's still in the main auditorium wherever this is happening, as the explosions and the fire and everything die down, the main sound people hear is Cadence just starting to softly cry. and
Oh,
no! And like talking to one of the other like people on the team and saying, You don't all think I'm a failure, right? I think that might be a good time for us to frame another scene. It can be like relatively close to this one, but that seems like a good place to start a new one. Dreamy and Mia, neither of you have chosen scenes, so I'll throw it over to one of you if you want to. You can either do a slice of life scene, you can do a get a read on the academy scene, or you can do another like framing a main scene, which is what most of the scenes have been.
I have a question. Do we know who won that competition after all that drama?
Maybe we'll figure that out with the next scene. Like maybe part of the next scene will
Yeah.
be like people like reacting to that. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was thinking maybe the next scene could take place like straight up, maybe even like 20 minutes after this, after things have been calmed down.
Mm-hmm.
WIMSY is incredibly embarrassed by all of the commotion that has been going on.
Yeah.
Is what I'll say. Like the student body's embarrassed, the teachers are embarrassed,
and the town is in the mood to make some outrageous demands.
yeah.
Ooh, yeah. That's one of the town's moves.
I'm ready to hear the town's demands, but basically the adult witches, the teachers are just like ready to get the competition done with as soon as possible. They know that we still have to get through the competition.
Mm-hmm.
And they're just trying to, at this point, they're just trying to save face.
Yeah, I like that. So it's like 20 minutes later, the explosion's been kind of cleaned up. Do the other witches, or actually, I think there's a question for Dreamy, because you're kind of deciding what the scene is. Is the scene like competition, or is the scene like witches going after Sophia? Like, what do you want the vibe of this to be?
It's going to be the competition. I think some of the witches could be going after Sophia, as she is like a member of the team and needs to participate in the competition. Maybe Professor Damone will go after her again. We don't know.
There's no way to know.
She actually just went to the dressing room. Where
Oh, she just went to the dressing room. Oh, okay. So yeah,
she's owning it now. She's not running away from it. She's just like, I said what I said.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Her parents are thoroughly embarrassed because they obviously heard the whole thing. They're not going to say anything to her yet. Who knows? Well, they want to see how the competition goes first.
Yeah.
They don't want to chastise her before she has to perform.
Yeah. Fair.
The competition is about to start, and probably Ratboy can elaborate more on this, but not only did all the students of WIMSY see this, but the DRAB students also witnessed this.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's a little, maybe the change of a change of scenery could be like we're outside. I imagine the yodeling competition does not take place indoors. that seseems loud. So
it's like an outdoor amphitheater.
Yeah. I like that. So we've moved to much like there is an outdoor amphitheater in Pitch Perfect. So it's just that. But yeah, an outdoor amphitheater, and you're I think maybe people are like now like lining up for the yodeling maybe. But what's everybody want to do as we're in this scene?
Well, so the town has some demands.
Yeah, I want to know.
I don't know if we should start with that because they're feeling pretty heated about it.
Yeah, go for it.
I would say the town is furious about the display that was that we encountered previously. While they are not competitive, they are fiercely loyal to the spirit of yodeling.
Yeah.
And they did not appreciate the mockery that was the series of explosions, fires, and wasps besieging the audience at this hallowed competition.
True.
It was one wasp. It wasn't a series of wasps. It was
a series of stings from this singular wasp.
I would like to comment on the fact that is one badass, powerful wasp.
Yeah.
I mean, wasps are not bees. They keep going. They are full of hatred. So their outrageous demand, because they feel that WIMSY does not respect and revere yodeling to the degree that they think everyone should in these competitions. They think that WIMSY should be disqualified from further competitions. However, because they do also want to find common ground and understanding, they are allowing this competition specifically for WIMSY to prove that they do actually respect and revere yodeling. So if WIMSY wins this particular competition, then they will, embrace the WIMSY yodeling team. If not, they will petition for WIMSY to be disqualified from all yodeling competitions.
Wow.
Due to their disrespect.
Very good. Yeah, so I think this announcement is made of, what the town's expectations are. So it's pretty tense. This is only a preliminary, but the stakes just got a lot higher.
I would like to establish a fact about Witch Society.
Yeah, go for it.
In regards to a precedent for this sort of event. So the last time that there was a disqualification of this magnitude in a yodeling competition was actually 25 years ago, around Sophia's mother's era, when she was still a student. And so WIMSY has had shenanigans happen before, and were threatened from being removed from competition. But so it is possible to make a comeback from it, and win it back. But this is something that has happened in the past, so there is a precedent to kind of come out of it. Especially because DRAB has always had talented yodelers, so there has been instances where this has happened before.
That
just
WIMSY is
a
trying
lot
to
of drama.
get someone to join.
Or just try to gather up advantages in ways that they shouldn't have.
Yeah, I like that a lot. So you get to take a token for establishing that.
Charlie would like to do two moves really quick. The first one is a regular move, and would like to approach Bellamy and just say, it seems like everybody is in the opinion of telling the harsh truths, and this might help with that, and is willing to hand Bellamy a truth-telling potion.
Bellamy loves
Bellamy
that. Bellamy loves that.
Bellamy
Super
to do
receptive
with
to that.
whatever they wish. And then Charlie would also like to use the strong move of make a new friend, and would like to try to befriend the person who was making these demands that WIMSY potentially be excluded from the competitions. So I'm assuming it was coming from like one spokesperson, so Charlie's going to try to specifically befriend that person.
I would say that person is probably the coach of the DRAB yodeling team, whose office was also previously defiled.
That tracks.
So maybe this has been brewing for a bit, if you pardon the pun.
I don't.
So yeah, Charlie just goes up to the coach and is like, I understand that you're really upset, but I mean, everybody works really hard for this competition every year, and it was kind of just a couple of people who caused like a big scene. So, like, do you think that you could maybe chill out on those demands?
Ooh, okay. So the coach is gonna try to fleece, con, or deceive the witches.
Yeah.
And in this case, because Charlie was saying it was just a couple of people, this coach is going to pretend to be Charlie's friend in order to get the identities of those people.
Oh my gosh.
So you're gonna sell out your friends, Charlie?
A little savage. This got really high stakes game, guys. I thought that we were just hanging out.
We gotta bring the drama.
Charlie.
We're in the second half, baby.
It's true.
Charlie is very quick to say, well, I mean, I might have caused the explosion, but I was just trying out a new potion and it didn't really work out. And so, I mean, that was kind of my fault. So I caused a scene that way.
What were you doing in the DRAB music room and my office also?
I've never been in your office. I went into the DRAB school because I needed to steal some trumpets and a music stand, because there's this person that I really like and I thought that it might help them with their business. And then I just got really excited about that. And maybe we have trumpets here, but I've never been able to find them. So I was really excited to see them. So I just wanted to just take them really quick. And I guess I can go ask for them back, but then I would feel really bad taking back a gift. And just Charlie just keeps rambling about specifically their role.
So in an effort to find common ground and understanding with the witches, what Charlie just said really plays on the coach's heartstrings, the coach who has a crush on the orchestra professor, who is currently dating the band director. So the coach really understands not just, the wanting to reach out to, an admired person, but also really kind of enjoys that some of the trombones were taken, or trumpets, pardon, were taken from the band director. They've decided to kind of call it a wash and maybe not pursue punishment for the invasion of the school, but stands firm on the stakes of this particular preliminary.
I don't think that Charlie would, oh, no, actually, Charlie's going to use another strong move and ask, how can I make it up to you? What the school did?
Ooh.
Ooh.
The coach, is reflecting. Okay. So the coach, being the coach of the DRAB yodeling team, wants to then, it is now furthering their own desire to actually win this preliminary so that they can impress this orchestra professor. So the coach is Charlie part of the yodeling team?
Charlie thinks they are. I don't know if he really is. But Charlie thinks certainly, and would be telling everybody that, yeah, he's part of the yodeling team.
So this coach, sees Charlie and kind of knows what they're all about.
Mm-hmm.
And so now again, fleecing, conning, and deceiving, says, you know what you can do to help me is you go out there with the yodeling team and you do the best you can. Okay. I want to hear you giving it your all. And that would do it for me,
Do you have a spare trumpet?
Unfortunately, the coach doesn't. All of our trumpets have gone missing. But I do have an oboe if that would work.
Mia does not. Mia's going to look up what an oboe is. But Charlie, not knowing what an oboe is, would still say yes. So Charlie takes the oboe. Yeah. Charlie marches off with their oboe.
The oboe is in the same family as the clarinet, if that helps. If you know what a clarinet is. Mia.
Oh, this is delightful. This is even better. Thank you. Yeah. Charlie takes the oboe and walks off and finds a place to practice.
Here we go.
Perfect.
Oh dear God.
Yeah. Do we have more stuff we want to do in this prep scene, or I think Mia, you're the only one who hasn't set a scene. Do you want to set up a new scene that's like the competition itself?
If nobody else has anything to do, I'm happy to set up the next scene. Cool. So the competition itself is going to take place in this big amphitheater.
Mm-hmm.
And the two schools' main team of yodelers are lined up on the front benches, and it is packed, but it's wedding style, where on one side is the DRAB school parents and the other side is the WIMSY school parents. But parents are there, they're super excited. The magic, the weave is just kind of playfully kicking up wind in random places and mixing up music notes. I don't know if you would have that for yodeling, but the weave is just kind of messing around with everything. Everybody is outside. It's probably peak heat of the day, but the sun is facing the crowd, so the yodelers have their focus. They're good to go. But it is a little bit toasty outside. But yeah, we're in the competition and it's time to shine.
Who's up first for the competition? Do you think it's someone from DRAB? Is it someone from WIMSY? Is it one of you all?
Sorry, I had a poorly timed sip of Dr. Pepper. I would say that probably because WIMSY is hosting, they would let somebody from DRAB go first.
Cool.
Oh, that's a good point.
Yeah, who's controlling? Oh yeah, Rappa, you're controlling the town. What is the first DRAB yodel like?
So the first DRAB yodel is hauntingly beautiful, as we know them to be.
Mm-hmm.
A few of the audience members have single tears being shed as they look at this yodeler in awe. A few of them are, looking up at the sky as though they're looking at the heavens, and a few of them would swear if someone asked that they saw God during this one particular performance. So they are going, so what's unfortunate is that that's the first performer, which would therefore also be their weakest performer.
Oh God! You hate to see that.
I hate to see it.
Oh my gosh!
The Academy, in an attempt to help WIMSY, there is a little bit of echoing, and there are murmurs in the crowd of the ghosts of WIMSY. People are getting a little bit scared, whether this is an echo of the yodeling or whether it's ghosts on campus. Unsure.
Really quick, Rat Boy, do you want to trade aspects since you haven't been able to engage as much, and I can take as Bellamy, and I can take the town if you would like to.
I'm okay with still being the town. I have some ideas.
Okay, perfect.
Cool. I think that means Whimsy's next. It could either be, it could be Sophia, it could be Charlie, it could be a different team member, it could be Thea. We haven't established if Thea is on the yodeling team or not, actually.
Thea is on the yodeling team.
Oh, good.
Not necessarily because she's like super good or anything, but she was the best of the worst. And the thing about Thea is, and I'm sure everyone has already gathered this, because she was a normie before, she really feels the need to prove herself as a witch, as a member of a witch society. So she puts 120% into everything she does, including yodeling.
Yeah. I'm gonna take over the student body for a second, and Cadence is going to come up to you, Thea, and say, I'm not really sure what we should do next, but Thea, I think you're the best next person to go after that yodeling performance. I believe in you. I think you can do it, and you really gotta put your all into this and help us out, because I don't know how we're gonna do on this preliminary.
Oh, okay, says Thea. She proudly swoops her cape back and marches up to the stage in like a very dramatic fashion. Right?
There's definitely snickers from the Whimsy student body.
And she's like, she's really like showing off her witchiness.
Yeah. Yeah.
And she takes center stage and she just belts out a yodeling, yodeling.
Good. It definitely does not measure up to the first DRAB student, which was a godlike experience, apparently. But there's some I think there's some, like, you hear what is their name? The Star Jock has a little bit of an appreciation, and Ward Willow, you can hear kind of this like, that's not bad for somebody who's new to witchery.
Oh, don't let Thea hear that. Let me just say.
As Thea is performing, the weeb is like making little fireworks behind Thea to like add to the ambiance.
Definitely, I think the student body thinks that is Thea doing it, and so there's some more like oohs and ahs of like, oh, she learned a new trick. She has another spell. I would love to know what Sophia's doing right now.
You mean besides feeling bad about herself?
Yeah, besides that.
She is looking through the big book of secrets. She's like in the dressing room, like away from people and trying not to get caught with this big book of secrets. And she's there's like at least the last like 2 or 3 decades worth of like their performance secrets, training regimen. It's like super hardcore. They don't act like they're competitive, but they are disciplined and they are a well-oiled machine. And she's reading through this, and she stops like in the early part of the book where it's like around the time that her mom would have been competing and what they had been competing against. And there's notes of this is the songs that they sang, there's what the competition sang and things like that, right? Like hardcore stuff. And she finds the notes from the competition that they're in, the what is it called? Sorry.
from the yodeling?
Yeah, the whatever the competition is that's happening right now.
Oh, the
The
preliminary.
preliminary.
Preliminaries from like the last year that her mom was competing.
Mm-hmm.
And then she just, instead of trying to like perform the songs that the other team performed or whatever, she just gets inspired by seeing what her mom performed, and she's gonna eventually go out and do that when it's her turn. And I am going to I'm gonna use my strong move when it's Sophia's turn to perform, and secure an advantage through my status, so have it be like to try to replicate her mom's performance from back in the day, and then have that be like a thing that the older witches would recognize, like, oh, that's the thing, and that's what I want to do.
Yeah.
Like when it's Sophia's turn.
Yeah. I think that brings us back then to the next DRAB student. Rapboy, do you want to describe what this next DRAB student's yodeling performance is like?
Is this the final DRAB student? Or...
I don't think so, because I think I would like to see what Charlie does. So I think it'll probably be this DRAB student and then Charlie.
This is the second to last?
Yeah, second to last, yeah.
So Ethan would be next then, because Ethan is the best and would be the last.
Okay, cool.
Is that correct? Okay. So this next yodeler has a different tack. They come onto the stage and they begin with what seems to be interpretive dance.
Oh.
And so that exact reaction is what a lot of the audience is doing as well. They're so intrigued. And so as this person is doing their interpretive dance, they're punctuating certain gestures with these new like yodeling styles. So it's much more modern, but enchanting. And so in everyone's mind, in the audience, they are filled with a spirit of appreciation for what has been, what is, and what will come in the future. And so they kind of take this all in, and the performance ends, and it seems like everyone's got kind of a new lease on life, and almost like they're making their own resolutions for what they feel they want to do from this day forward. They just feel so energized, and their love of life is renewed.
Yeah, I think definitely this hits cadence. This performance hits cadence pretty hard as she starts to look a little bit reflective, and taps Charlie to go for the next performance.
Oh no. Charlie walks on, oboe in one hand, teeth in the other. Still carrying him around. Sets the oboe down, does their little teeth display. Doesn't ask the question out loud, but the teeth forms a question mark. If anybody was looking at it, but nobody knows what question Charlie asked. And takes like a deep breath. And typically Charlie just screams. This is taking inspiration from Thea. Does the like actual saying of yodeling, but in like an.
All right, can you one more time? The yodel, I didn't.
What the yodel sounds like.
God, maybe. I'm gonna take some water because I don't know if this is gonna work. I'm about to embarrass myself on the internet. Charlie takes inspiration and is like quietly whispering to themselves and just like yodeling.
Oh my gosh.
Doesn't pull through, doesn't laugh. I don't know if I can. But is also going to use a strong move to gain the respect of a city witch.
Ooh, yeah.
And is going to hopefully gain the respect of one of the judges who is really into screamo music.
Yeah.
And this is a sound that nobody has heard Charlie make. They're like hitting a place in their voice that they have never expressed before, but just yodeling.
Very good.
and just keeps repeating it. But yeah, that's what Charlie's gonna do.
Perfect. Charlie does that. There's definitely the student body. This does not necessarily endear Charlie to the student body. But I do love the idea that there's a screamo loving judge who is like, now this I can get behind. I think during Charlie's performance, Cadence has kind of slipped away to head back to the practice room or the dressing room that Sophia is in. And kind of like pokes her head in and says, were you, I just came back to see if you were planning to perform or not.
She says, come here really quick. I have something to show you.
Yeah, Cadence comes over.
I know I've been doing a lot of shady shit lately, you know, for the sake of the team, and I was really out of pocket with you today as well. But look at this. This is the song that they sang the last time WIMSY won this competition. I think that you could do it. I think you should be the closer.
Oh, Cadence, like, her eyes get really big, and she says, really? Are you just saying that because you feel bad about earlier?
I think I just let the pressure get to me, and I became a version of myself I didn't like. I got too caught up in winning and competition that, you know, I forgot about friendship and teamwork. But it's a really good song, you know, it's a classic. I think you could pull it off, and, you know, I think you should go for it.
Cadence kind of sits down next to you and she says, I know you've been frustrated with me, Sophia, even before, you know, you said the thing. I knew that you weren't happy with how I led the team, and I'm not a legacy, you know, I wasn't, you know, nobody in my family has been doing this for hundreds of years. I think you could be a great leader, Sophia, but I think it would be good if instead of trying to undermine me during practice, if you could give me like a little bit of your help and experience, that'd be great. I think we could do a lot better.
Hey, do you think there's anything against the rules about making this last performance a duet?
I think Cadence starts like paging through this like super secret.
It's
Yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say, yeah, like she's genuinely curious if there was anything in the like official rules about doing a duet, because she was like, you know, I think you're absolutely right, and I think it's time to show them what teamwork can do.
I think Cadence starts like kind of flipping through things and is like, I don't see anything in the rules like against it, and honestly, if we don't win this round, then we're not going to be able to compete anymore anyway, so we may as well do it.
Hey, I am genuinely sorry. I've really been out of pocket with you, and you're right, I really shouldn't be trying to undermine you so much. I just let my parents get to me, you know, that pressure. I think it's great that you're not a legacy. You have the freedom to really just exist and not have to worry about overbearing parents.
Yeah, Cadence kind of puts her hand out to like take yours, and she's like, let's go out there and show them what we can do.
Yeah. Absolutely. So I would like to spend the token for the major damage through the status, and I would like it to be like the song is somehow recognized. It's a classic song, but like people immediately think of the last time.
Yeah.
That last competition that was won by WIMSY.
I think before Cadence and Sophia perform that song, we do still have to hear from Ethan.
Oh yeah.
So Rat Boy.
Sorry.
No, you're good. I think that's good, like setting up like what the performance is gonna be. So Rat Boy, what is Ethan's performance like?
Wait. Am I able to mute Ethan before his performance?
Oh my god. Yes. That is one of your spells.
I would like to mute Ethan before he goes on.
So Ethan definitely knows this is happening because you've done it before. So Thea goes up to Ethan and does the hands thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. What does Ethan do?
So I think Ethan kind of like bites his lower lip and just kind of nods like, yeah, figured something like this was gonna
Uh-huh.
And then he does like a little rolling pointing finger with his hand where you can kind of guess he's like, I'll be next. Like, so we'll have the WIMSY students go ahead first, and if he's recovered by then, go ahead.
Yeah. Can I?
Because I was just gonna say, I think at this point, Ethan just kind of takes it lying down. He just kind of expects that he's going to be harassed.
Yeah,
it's easier for him if he just goes along with it.
Yeah. What were you gonna say, Anne?
Oh, I feel like at some point Sophia will like go to the side of the stage to watch Ethan perform, because she had talked to him previously and was curious about how well he performed.
I do have a question to maybe throw, and the answer to this can be whatever you want it to be, Dreamy, but there are certain conditions under which Thea can't, her magic doesn't work.
Yes.
Is just the little like interaction with Ethan, is there anything, are there any feelings for Thea for Ethan, or no?
I feel like Thea kind of likes Ethan a little bit. She has like a little bit of a crush on everybody, you know. You only
waterboard the ones you
Yeah, she is into the jock a little bit too, though. So you know, it's not maybe she admires Ethan singing, and I think that's one of the reasons why maybe she does like him.
Yeah.
But because she doesn't really like know him too well, and her competitive edge is winning over her slight crush of Ethan.
Mm-hmm.
I think right now, especially if she knew what was it, Wade? Who was it? The jock?
Oh yeah, Wade. Or is that,
Wade, if she knew what Wade was thinking, now that's a different story.
Okay. So I think I think it makes sense if Ethan can eventually perform, because it sounds like Sophia wants to see Ethan go first, and then have Sophia and
I think if she notices that Thea is up to her nonsense and doesn't hear Ethan when he tries to sing.
Yeah.
It's funny that Sophia thinks she could do something to Thea.
No.
I wouldn't do it to Thea. Just give me a second.
Guess who's next to get muted? Awesome.
Yeah, oh, no. What is Sophia doing?
She's probably watching, not necessarily see what Thea's doing, like, but after the fact, when it's time for Ethan to perform and no sound comes out, she'll be like, what the hell? And I would like to
then Thea would loudly say, I guess someone got some stage fright, huh?
What is Sophia doing to help Ethan?
I would like to I would like to spend my strong move to cast a previously unrevealed spell.
Oh yeah. What's your unrevealed spell?
It's basically like a reversal spell. So if someone's affected by a spell, it's like an undo spell, right? So
Yeah.
but it manifests this way because Sophia doesn't know that she can do it. She's just like, "Ugh," and she just like, you know how she just hopes for the best. She like hopes for the best
Yeah.
and tries to help Ethan. And then, so yeah, I'm gonna spend a token to let Ethan sing, essentially.
Yeah. What is Ethan's yodeling?
So I would say, Ethan, first off, on being able to speak again, lets out a long sigh and approaches the microphone or the front of the stage, whichever it might be, and says, "Ladies, gentlemen, gentlemen, I think it's been too long that our university has been divided like this." He looks at Sophia because I think, first of all, their conversation previously, he was kind of moved, as we said, and then also this dispel spell, I think he maybe kind of knows. So looks that way. Mm-hmm.
She does a tiny wave when he looks in her direction.
Mm-hmm. And so he looks back at the audience and he says, "These witches, if you prick them, do they not bleed? If you waterboard them, do they not drown? If you poison them with mushrooms, do they not hallucinate? And if they constantly fail, would they not seek revenge? My gentle thems of the audience, I think it's time for all of us to come together in the true spirit of yodeling. And by yodeling, I mean togetherness. Let us sing this final song together."
Yeah.
And then he invites Sophia to the stage. Really doesn't know anything about the cadence thing, so it doesn't make any gestures toward her.
Sophia grabs Cadence
Yeah.
and pulls her along too.
Yeah.
He invites Charlie up to the stage as well.
Charlie jumps up. Ready to go.
Are we yodeling in like 3-part harmony or something?
Yeah.
I mean, if screamo yodeling is part of the harmony.
That's true. That's true.
That's true.
And then they yodel together. And I would love from our performers, Sophia and Charlie, to hear what that sounds like, if I could.
And Cadence. Cadence is there. I'll yodel.
Okay.
So you know what I was thinking? I was thinking of the song from Frozen 2, you know, Into the Unknown.
Oh, yeah.
Like the whole,
no.
that really haunting, like, high-pitched part. Like, kind of like those vibes.
Yeah.
A little bit, but in, like, 3-part harmony. That's what I imagine.
Yeah. So,
So can we hear that?
Yeah.
Can we get a...
Can we yodel 3-part harmony over Zoom?
I can't, honestly, I can't right now because it's a little bit late here and my grandma's in the mood, but...
Dreamy, would you like to step in?
I don't know that song.
In the spirit of yodeling that is togetherness?
I don't know that song.
It's the one that's Into the Unknown. That one is that.
That one. Yeah, that one. But there's a bit in it that doesn't have words.
The one that's just the ooh.
Yeah, that
one.
part.
Yeah. So I can yodel that since it's just my husband who I'm bothering. so the student at Cadence comes out with other. Obviously we're all singing together, but it's just like it's just singing this haunting song.
I would also like to say that at the crescendo of this togetherness yodel, the library books are due.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So if we could have just kind of set in the background of this yodeling a series of spontaneous combusting.
Mhm, just a
Yeah.
books
Exactly
everywhere.
that. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. We're at the time that we were going to wrap up. So what do you all think the conclusion, like what do you think the results of this yodeling competition are? I think we can decide that together.
I would like to know what the coach of Ethan's team.
Oh, yeah. How's the coach reacting?
Well, the coach isn't too pleased. The coach really thought that this was going to be his kind of foot in the door to a relationship with the orchestra professor, and that's kind of gone tits up. So, I think he looks around over to the orchestra professor, and the orchestra professor is quite moved by the show, moved into the arms of the band professor. And so I think the yodeling coach then shakes his fist up into the air and swears to get his revenge.
Oh, leaving the door open for a part 2. I have a pitch for the results of this preliminary, which is that it is immediately declared essentially a mistrial. that so many things happened that they're somebody yodeled who wasn't even specifically part of the team. Everyone started yodeling together at the end. All this different stuff.
I think that as part of kind of the epilogue, if the whole thing is a wash, I think what Sophia will do as a very loud rejection of the pressure that she's experienced, she is going to petition for DRAB and WIMSY to form a unified team to send to the national tournament or whatever, the international tournament, rather than compete which one of the schools gets to represent the town. So I think she's going to work with Ethan to kind of change the system of how competitions work, and kind of inadvertently suggest a regional competition, and so they're not competing against each other, but rather just auditioning and creating a cohesive team. And maybe she'll maybe ask Ethan on a date once the trust has been rebuilt, in a year when he's not so traumatized by Theo waterboarding him.
That is touching, and I am moved. And if I may be so bold, I think Ethan would be too.
I'm gonna, and then it's no, I'm sorry. My friend is kind of scary. I think she's scary too.
This is how Thea gets them, though. They all fall for her unique charm.
Uniquely scary.
That is a way to end up dating people. Is if they're a little No. No. If they're a little intimidated.
Look, don't knock it till you tried it, okay?
True.
I haven't tried that. What about Bellamy and Thea and Charlie? What do you think their little epilogues to this adventure are?
Charlie is running off to charm the pants off of Evelyn by belting screamo yodeling into the oboe.
Yeah.
Not even giving Evelyn a chance to say no, to be like, Charlie, I have to go. Just walks up, starts yodeling. And thinks that they're great at it. Thinks that they're doing well.
It's a new style. What about Thea and Bellamy?
Thea would like to think that she gained the respect of her peers, just because she did put her heart into it, and you know what? She did try to mute Ethan to save the school at the end.
It's true. I think you do get some respect from the student body for attempting to mute Ethan, even though what he was going to do was helping Whimsy, but Thea didn't know that.
Yeah, Thea didn't know that. And you know what? Maybe she gets a little bit friendlier with the rest of the students. Maybe she shoots her shot a couple of times, you know?
Yeah.
And we can only see what they think of her.
Yeah. It's true. What about Bellamy?
I think Bellamy's kind of been off on their own stuff. Obviously, like they had a couple of pranks that were being established and all that. But I think as the performances were going on and as the tears were being shed, there was not a dry eye in the house, and that includes on Bellamy's face. So I would say that Bellamy looked onward at the performers and maybe put like one hand over their little chest as they were gazing in awe, and then they took a little library book and they took it out from under the seat that they had placed it, and they just put it back in their little fireproof bag, and tossed it over their shoulder and walked off into the distance. So to be continued, I guess.
Very good. That's great. And that's our adventure with Cantrip. Thank you all so much. This was such a delight to play with you all. You all did great jobs as your characters and also as the different aspects of the game. If anyone is watching and wants to play Cantrip, you totally should. I'll put that link in chat again. Now playing. And before we go, do you all want to give one last little reminder of who you are, where people can find you? This time we'll start with Dreamy. Who are you? Where can people find you?
All right, hi everyone. I'm Dreamy. You can find me on Twitch and Twitter under the username Dreamytude. I mostly stream gaming content, some Final Fantasy, and we'll be on Taylor's channel again next month.
Yeah. And then Anne, do you want to reintroduce yourself to people and let them know where they can find you?
Hi, my name is Anne. You can find me on Twitter at exo_girlwonder, and that's where I'll be shouting out all of my different projects. I am supposed to be on a stream tomorrow, but I will be absent from the Lost Haven at Night stream on DM Studios, so I will not be there, but I am usually there. There's we're doing a 6-session short run of Vampire the Requiem. And on this upcoming Wednesday is my last episode of our Lancer series on Girls Run These Worlds called Love in the Town of Mex. So, I have a lot of things coming up that I can't talk about yet, but stay tuned on Twitter for all of the juicy scoop.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me, Taylor.
Thank you for being here. It was great to play with you. Finally. Rat Boy, what about you? What are you, who are you? What do you got going on? Do you have any plugs you want to make?
So I'm Rat Boy. You can find me under your floorboards, inside your walls, and behind you when you shut your bathroom mirror.
Oh.
So see you soon.
Perfect. And then Mia, who are you? Where can we find you? All that good stuff.
Well, hello, I'm Mia. You can find me on Twitter at uptight_Chiffon. I will be on the Lost Caravan stream later this month doing an 8 or 9 part series. The first one's going to be on August 27th. I think that's all I need.
Perfect. So I'm gonna leave the Zoom call, and I'm gonna wrap up the stream. If you all wouldn't mind hanging out for a couple minutes so I can say a proper goodbye and thank you to you, that would be great. But if you have to go, that's fine. But for now, do you want to say goodbye to stream and goodbye to the YouTube VOD?
Bye, everyone.
Goodbye, everyone. Thank you.
Goodbye.
Thank you.